What's up, guys, and welcome to another episode of I'll Call You Right Back podcast. Thanks for coming back with me. First off, I just finished this book by Jocko Willink. Okay, if you're familiar with podcasts, obviously you are. I'm sure you have heard of Joe Rogan. Joe Rogan is pretty much like one of the main father figures of the podcast community. His show is pretty huge, the Joe Rogan Experience, and again, that's pretty much what got me into podcasting and why I started to do my own. But this is a book that I heard about on there, and it's called Discipline Equals Freedom Field Manual. And again, it's by Jocko Willink, and this dude is just like so he's a retired Navy SEAL officer. He has a podcast of his own called the Jocko Podcast, and he wrote some best-selling author books. One of them is Extreme Ownership and Way of the Warrior Kid. I haven't read them yet, but my buddy Dave got this book over the holidays and started reading it, and he was like, dude, it's pretty wild. It's intense, but it's very motivational. And this dude is not like someone that is sugarcoating the truth. He pretty much is like, quit being lazy and just get it done. On the back of the book, there is 4 lines. It says, there is no shortcut. There is no hack. There's only one way, so get after it. And again, the dude is like a retired Navy SEAL, so he's pretty intense. But I got this book in the mail yesterday, probably 9 p.m., and I read the whole thing by this morning, and I don't know. It's just like something you can't put down. It's just so motivational, and it just makes you like want to progress with what you're doing. And yeah, man, that's what I'm trying to do with this. I'm listening to all the feedback that people are giving to me. I'm getting text messages on Instagram, and people really are responding well to all the content that me and my guests are putting out, and I'm grateful for that. So again, if you got some time and you read, this book is it's pretty insane, and it is very motivational, but I don't know, it basically boils down to you got to have the discipline and you got to want to do it. So that being said, this week we're back again with another awesome guest, one of my good buddies. His name is Palermo Stone. So I've been friends with Palermo for a few years through mutual friends, and we've always seen each other different places, and always were cool. So I knew that he was a really good person to talk to. Like, he's been heavy into the rap scene for probably over a decade now, as you'll hear in the podcast, but he's around a bunch of people. He's a respected figure in the city, and he has some awesome stories. So I'd like to welcome Palermo Stone to the I'll Call You Right Back family, and I appreciate him coming to sit down with me. It's a pretty in-depth conversation. It runs a little bit long, but that's what I wanted. Like, I don't really have a time constraint for my episodes. I'm pretty much just going to talk to people for as long as we talk. I mean, I like listening to podcasts. Some will be short, some will be longer than others, but this one is awesome, and we go over a lot of stuff, and we talk about some really cool things, and I hope you enjoy it. So I present to you episode 5 of the I'll Call You Right Back podcast with Palermo Stone.
Telephone.
Hello?
Telephone.
I'll call you right back. Call you right back.
Telephone.
I'll Call You Right Back podcast. All right, we're good. Got a special guest. We finally made this happen. We're rolling now.
Yes, sir.
All right, tell the listeners who you are.
I'm Palermo Stone, artist.
Artist,
Yeah, rap
father,
artist,
friend,
father, yeah,
hard worker,
apple
apple connoisseur.
husband. Yeah,
Yeah, when's the wedding coming up?
in May, man. Yeah, May 26th.
Where's it at?
Hotel Monaco. It's gonna be lit.
Yeah, it's gonna be dope.
Yeah.
Now, is it big or small?
Small, man.
Small wedding?
Yeah, you gotta start cutting certain things out. You know.
I hear you. I just got married, and
You
it's
had a big wedding, though.
expensive as hell.
Yeah, you had a real big one though.
Yeah, we had like 175 people.
Yeah,
And-
those plates aren't cheap.
No, and it's like, hey, we're gonna pay this all this money for you to come here and get all fucked up, and you don't even remember it. Like, it was all big ass blur. I don't know if it's different for a smaller wedding or not, but
Yeah, it's gonna be. I mean, it still gets expensive. Like that hotel's not cheap in general. So
yeah, I bet.
you know, nice, intimate, but also, something classy. You know?
Yeah, for sure.
You know my girl.
Yeah. Work together at Threads on Carson.
Yeah, shout outs.
Yeah, got to drop the names. But you and I have been friends for some years now.
Yeah, absolutely.
Mutual friends through other people.
Through multiple different people.
Yeah, a lot of different people. I forget how we even first met. Probably through
I had to be probably through 58's type stuff.
Yeah,
you know?
Be White for sure. I've seen you in a bunch of their music and the
Yeah.
All-Star Weekend and everything.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
It was just like,
All-Star Weekend's lit. I just looked at that the other day. It got like 10, 12,000 views, something like that.
that's on the daily playlist
Yeah,
down there.
yeah.
I still listen to all that.
Yeah.
B's gonna come on here soon, and so is Maya. So
Oh yeah, it's official.
they're gonna be very interesting to
Yeah,
talk to.
especially Mayo, man. He's a character.
Yeah, he's that's one way to describe it. So let's start from the beginning. Where are you from?
I was born in McKeesport, PA,
Yeah.
Crawford Village.
Okay.
Was there till I was 12,
Mm-hmm.
and then my mom's and my stepdad moved us out to Braddock. So I did from Braddock. I was 12 to I graduated high school.
Out in Braddock, you did.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I
So
left the house before I graduated high school. But yeah.
how old were you whenever you said you were 12 when you left McKeesport?
Yeah.
What grade is that in?
7th.
7th grade.
Yeah, beginning. It was like in February, so I went through like half of my 7th grade year.
Where'd you go? Elementary school.
I went to what's the name of that school? Elementary school. Well, like the way
Or
like,
no, middle school. I meant
yeah,
middle school.
It was called North Hall.
Oh yeah,
So
yeah.
they split it up between. It used to be like 7th, 8th.
Yep.
Was a part of the high school.
Yeah.
And I was excited about that because I was like, yeah, I'll be in 7th, but I always had a mustache.
Yeah.
So like, I was like, yeah, I might be able to like get off with some freshmen or something like that.
Yeah.
Then they had separated it. That's when I was like first like getting into like girls. You know, like 7th grade. I was like, oh yeah, like
Yeah.
girls are like a real thing. You know
Gotta
what I
find
mean?
all the
Yeah.
local talent down
Yeah,
there.
yeah. So I was like excited about it, and then they split it like the year I went. You know, so that was like 2001.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? 2000, 2001.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
So what was it like being for a kid? Like, how did you get into music? Like, you always have a love for music?
Man, I got like my mom is like she's like devout Christian.
Oh,
So,
yeah?
Like yeah, so like never heard my mom cuss like not a day in her life. Like
Wow.
she doesn't even get flustered, man. I think that's why like I have like a level of calm to myself.
Yeah.
Cause like she never really got out of pocket. Like I mean, when she beat me, like when I was a kid and shit,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
she would get out of pocket. That shit scared me because like she never got like out of pocket like that.
Yeah, that's wild.
But so I grew up in the church. So for me, it's like every like I feel like every rapper, like impoverished rapper, like has that story of like their mom or their grandma like
Yeah.
taking them to church, and that's how they got into music. But that's really like how it was for me. But I was always a quiet kid, so like when I saw the way that music affected people, like church music affects people like in a different way.
Yeah,
You know what I
absolutely.
mean?
It's very powerful.
So like when I was a kid, I'd be like, man, like this is really like they believe this shit, right? Like
Yeah.
they believe it like wholeheartedly, and it's making them feel a certain way. So like I wanted to be in the choir when I was a kid because of that. You know?
Yeah. Yeah.
So
for
it was pretty
sure.
cool. Like it was like always, my mom was in the choir. She sings. So for me it was just like, yeah, I got to do that too.
So you always grew up around like I'm sure she always had some music playing.
Yeah,
things
always
like
music
that.
playing, but it was only gospel. Like I never really heard anything different until I was like maybe 7, 8 years old.
Yeah. So like whenever you were younger, do you have like a kind of a like what was your upbringing like? Were you out running around on the playgrounds?
Yeah. My mom. So my dad left when I was like 2. So
Okay.
my mom, it was just me and my mom.
Yeah.
So
You have any brothers or sisters?
Nah, my dad has kids, but like just in my household,
Yeah.
like me and my mom, that was it.
Mm-hmm.
So my mom, like I went to, my dad left when I was 2, and because my mom had to work, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I started like preschool early. I started preschool at like 2.
Okay.
So from 2, 3, and then 4, like I was in preschool.
Yeah.
So like, but I was there all day, like AM and PM preschool.
Yeah.
Until my mom got back from work.
For sure.
Then when I got 4, she gave me a key to the crib.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
I was like dumb young with a key to the crib,
Yeah.
like going to kindergarten and shit.
Walking
So,
around.
Yeah, like Jack boys be out and shit. Like no one ever like fucked with me, but like I always had a key to the crib.
Yeah.
So
like,
I was
what
just
kind of
out,
area did you
man.
live into?
Like Crawford
it?
Village is like it's like a hood for real. Like it's like them hoods you see like when I got older and went to Woodland Hills, like
Yeah.
it's like more of like everybody got houses and shit,
Mhm.
but like everyone like claims it's like the hood.
Yeah.
Like I had like Crawford Village, like the hood you see on TV, where they're like row houses and.
So was it
you know.
like? I mean, do you remember it being like pretty bad? Like,
I was a saint to my mother, but when I step outside, you have to kind of like
yeah,
it's like
I'm
when
sure
in Rome,
you have to
know?
kind of take in the
Yeah.
street a little bit to fit in.
Yeah, it's like when in Rome, you know, like you
Yeah,
have to
I mean,
you have to
I can
blend in.
understand that.
So it was cool. It wasn't like we were like you know, super bad. We would do shit like steal each other's bikes and shit like that.
Yeah.
Like, you know, Crawford Village always had beef with like Harrison Village.
Yeah,
So it's like, you know, 2 hoods in McKeesport. But like the older heads they were shooting at each other and shit. But we
Yeah.
were just going to like different hoods, like stealing.
that was
shit.
a reality whenever you were young. Like you.
Oh,
you hear
gangs?
gunshots, shit
yeah,
like
yeah,
that.
Yeah. It was like I grew up in the mid-90s, so
Yeah,
it was bad back then. Like my friends' dads were all in jail or going to jail at the time.
yeah,
So like it was tough to see that as a kid because like my friends that were closest to me at the time, like their dads were in the streets and they were going away to jail at that time like a lot. So like everybody was losing their dads
Yeah.
at that time.
yeah.
So it was kind of like it was interesting to see how they grew up, you know, like my dad didn't go to jail. My dad just wasn't with my mom.
yeah.
So like, you know, I had a different view of life. Like all those kids that I knew grew up like that, they still in the streets today. You know what I mean? Their dads went to jail. It was just like a cycle, you know?
yeah,
so-
definitely unfortunate.
Yeah. It's
So,
kind of sad, man, but that's like, that's what it is.
What was the crowd like? You were hanging around with people your age, older kids, like
Yeah, it was a lot of kids my age, but, you know, like after school hours, like the way my hood is set up is like, it's like a circle.
Yeah.
So like there's one street in and then one street out. And then like on the one side is a basketball court. So like after school, everybody would just go to the basketball court and there was a playground over there and a big field you play football in.
yeah,
So like everybody was there and you would just kind of like migrate around everyone. So like everyone from like the old heads be out there to, you know, the people that were already in like high school. And then it was like us, just like 8, 9-year-old, 11-year-old kids.
yeah.
just,
Youngins
like,
running around.
running around and seeing wild shit. You know what I mean? Like, you know, like
Yeah,
all
I
the
bet
shit that went down at the basketball court or some shit like selling drugs or
Yeah,
fights and
drugs,
getting
fights,
shot and all type
all
of shit.
kinds
So
of
yeah,
That's definitely crazy. Like, I mean, coming up from that, like how you were saying, like people get stuck in a cycle. Like,
yeah,
I mean, you are with the company you keep,
yeah.
and there's usually sometimes people that could break out of that.
Yeah, I think, you know, my mom, she tried her best to get me out when she did. Like I was 12. Those are like very impressionable years.
Yeah,
you know,
for
like,
sure. Being a
that's
young
when,
kid.
But that's when like all the homies were starting to get like, they didn't do like jumping into gangs and shit. Like you didn't get beat up or no shit. Like I
Yeah.
see like on TV and shit. Like I guess they do that other places, but they would just be like, you know, you just get recruited, kind of like
Yeah,
if you was out fighting and shit. Like they see you're a little scrapper, so they're like, yo, roll with us, you know.
Yeah.
Or like, you know, we grew up to like protect our hood though. Like Crawford Village was like a thing. Like, you know, like if you was from a different space in McKeesport, like
you were an
You
outsider.
were an outsider, yeah.
I mean,
So
that's
we had to like,
understandable.
you know, just protect ourselves and do what we was gonna do.
So she pulled you out of Crawford Village, and you
Yeah.
said you moved to.
To Braddock,
Braddock?
yeah.
Now, what was it like over there?
It was different. We were like beefing at the time, like McKeesport and Braddock. So I got in a lot of fights when I first got there.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, it was
Why?
like I think it was like I think So like my hood when I grew up is like a Crip neighborhood. So
Yeah.
like, you know, like Seaville is like Crawford Village. It was like a Crip neighborhood. So like when I moved to Braddock, it's also like a lot of Crips. So like I think they just thought I was from McKeesport, like on some blood shit or whatever. But like I would never bang. Like I never did none of that shit. So
Yeah,
like,
so it's
I would be like, yo, like it's not even like that. But at that time we had like a crazy football rivalry. Like Woodland Hills High School and McKeesport.
So that's a school district in Braddock, is Woodland Hills.
Yeah.
And my brother is 32. He went to McKeesport.
Yeah.
I went to McKeesport until 6th grade.
Mm-hmm.
So like I definitely knew that was
Yeah.
crazy in
Yeah.
everything. I remember
Yeah.
even in like baseball, it
yeah,
was like
like
a crazy.
it was like crazy rivalry. So when I got there, it was like they were just automatically hating on me.
Yeah.
And then like my mom, like she always took good care of me and shit. So like I had like fresh clothes, fresh kicks, shit like that. So boys would always be hating because I was like new to the school,
Yeah.
light skinned, you know. So the bitches was all on me and shit. So like it was like, you know, I was coming in, girls was like, "Oh, who's that? Who's that?" I remember like literally my first day in school, I got in a fight because like I had on this fucking this jean outfit like top to bottom, like but
You
it
had
was
an
like
all jean
metallic.
outfit?
Yeah, but it was like metallic. I don't even remember the jean material that was like metallic, like it looked shiny as fuck.
Oh yeah.
And it was like jean on the bottom, jean jacket, like black tee. I had just got this chain. I was like fresh as fuck with like some mid black Air Forces.
Yeah, you were looking
I
right
was
out there.
Right,
It's
first
like
day of school.
First day of school coming
and
in
it was
mega.
Valentine's Day.
Oh shit.
So like I walked through school like I'm walking
it's like
through
some
school.
shit from a movie.
Yeah, I'm like walking through
Breaking
school.
necks.
Yeah, walking through school. Like you're like, who's that? Like you know, like I vividly. I don't know if I'm making it up in my head.
That's all right.
But I vividly remember like this one girl being like, "Who's that?"
That's funny.
And I was like, "Yeah." I'm like,
So you automatically had a
12 years
target
old.
on your back.
Yeah, and I fought this dude in my lunch because I didn't know. You know, like I don't know if you ever went to like. Yeah, you said you switched schools, right?
Yeah.
Like you don't know where to sit. In
Exactly.
The
You feel
lunchroom.
weird as hell. I remember my first day of school I went to Elizabeth Forward. So like I remember my first day of school, my dad dropped me off and I got there early, like half hour early. So I went to my homeroom.
Yeah.
Principal like tells you like where everything is and shit like that. And I remember people just rolling in just like,
Yeah.
and you're young as hell. So like no one was just like, hey, and like
Yeah.
people just think you're fucking weird
Yeah.
because like you're not from there.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's very different.
Yeah, they treat you real different.
But
real
the first
weird.
dude who spoke to me, Matt Miller, is still
So you're from?
one of my best friends
Yeah.
to this day.
That's awesome.
It is wild,
Yeah.
but I know it is feel like it had to be
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah, it was crazy, and I fought him during lunch. Like he just like came up to me,
Did you win?
pushed me.
Pulled him to
It was pretty even.
Yeah.
It was pretty even. I didn't really want to fight though, like
That's an admirable answer.
You know?
You could have just been like, "Yep, for sure."
because I didn't want to have that reputation. You know, like my mom sat me down and like spoke to me like, you know, you're about to meet new people. You know, you have to like set yourself up for success with these new group of people. So like, you can't be acting like you're too good for them or you don't want to be friends with them. Like,
Yeah.
we're staying here for a while because she had bought a house. Like her and my stepdad bought a house. So
Oh,
it's
yeah?
like, I have like a 30-year agreement in this
Yeah,
house.
so
you know
get
what I mean?
used to it.
Yeah, like so we're gonna be
Like
here
it or
for a
not.
while. Yeah, because she just moved me out. Like she didn't tell me that we were moving. Like I had
It was
no
like
idea.
a quick thing.
Yeah, it was like 2 weeks. She was like, "Hey, we're moving like in 2 weeks." I was like, "Okay."
Now, what was like? Do you still pretty close with like your friends from McKeesport whenever you were over there?
Some of them, yeah. I mean, a lot of them, man, they're locked up, bro.
No, I meant like whenever you moved over, like.
Oh,
like,
when I moved over?
Yeah, so like
Yeah,
you were,
so like for a while, you know, then like that kind of stuff, like their parents don't want to drive.
yeah,
to
exactly.
Braddock and shit,
That's why
you
I was
know?
asking. Like, eventually, shit falls
like
off.
my first, so like I moved in February, my birthday's in April.
Okay.
So I had like a sleepover party and shit, you
Yeah.
know. Because like when we moved, my mom got a house. So like she worked very hard to get us a house. And I had like the whole attic. It was like split rooms. I had like my room and then I had a game room on the other
Yeah,
side.
that's dope.
So like I had like a sleepover party. I had everyone from the hood there. And you know, for them it was crazy for me because it was like they was like, damn, bro, like you got a house,
Yeah.
you know. And I was like, yeah, like it's, you know, it's whatever, like it's just natural progression, but like it's really not for everybody.
Yeah,
you
not
know?
reality for a while.
Well, my mom was a hard worker, so like it was always like,
What'd she do?
what's she gonna get us out the hood? She did everything. She like basically retail for the most part, but then when I was younger, she started working at Pitt in like cleaning dorms and shit.
Okay.
So like, but it was a good paying job.
Yeah.
So, you know, she went from like making like minimum wage was like $5 an hour back then.
Yeah.
She went from making like $5 an hour to like $10 an hour. So it was like,
Yeah, it's
her
like a
pay
life-changing
doubled.
move
Yeah.
real quick, for sure.
Yeah, so like, you know, her yearly doubled.
And
so
to
it
be
was
able
like,
to get out and
yeah.
go grip up your own
and she didn't
house.
like that anyway. You know, I told you, like, she's from the church, so all the stuff that was happening in the neighborhood, she was not cool with, you know. But it was
Yeah.
just her financial situation at the time was just like that.
Yeah, I mean, you have
So-
to work up for it. I mean,
Yeah.
So you moved to Braddock, went to Woodland Hills. Like, when did
Yeah,
you start
way high.
meeting people? Like, how'd that start coming along?
Like meeting
Like being friends with people, actually getting some friends that like you were like cool with.
through the same stuff, man. Through fighting. Like my best friend at that time was Danny Underwood. Rest in peace. When I first moved there, as well, like I had that fight, so I didn't go outside, man. Like,
Yeah.
you know, I was like, fuck it, like I'm not gonna be cool with any of these people. Like they don't understand me. You know, they won't get me. I'm different. I'm from the port. Like, you know what I mean? I'm just different.
Yeah,
than these
different
boys.
worlds.
So like, and you never, when you're a kid, you don't leave your
Especially,
your neighborhood.
it's crazy because like if you go to like the rival school,
Yeah.
like that would be
Yeah.
just such a weird feeling.
Yeah.
Especially with the dudes, because like you're coming up and you're like 14, 15, 16, like that's whenever like people act like a little hard ass, like,
Yeah.
and that's where you gotta like kind of like, I remember thinking like what is this gonna be like
Yeah.
like this is about to be crazy. It's like people were either gonna like just because I mean that's a reality for younger kids. They either are like super cold or like you'll meet some that are just like cool. So
Yeah.
like you had to be prepared for both of it.
Yeah, and I was like, the way I'm gonna make friends is by hooping. Like I was a hooper.
Oh yeah.
So there was like a basketball court like right up the street from like where I moved.
Yeah.
So like it was only one hoop, so you had to play like half court. So like everyone had to play together.
Yeah,
you
you're
know what I
obligated
mean?
to play together.
Yeah, so like I'm outside out back and some people were walking with a basketball and it happened to be my boy Danny. So like he's like, "Yo, never seen you before, bro. You hoop?" I was like, Yeah, I hoop. So I ran in the crib. Yo, mom, can I go hoop up the street? He's like, Yeah, go make some friends. So go up to hoop, and this dude, Brian Dempster, he's up there, and I'm nice. Like, or I used to be nice. I'm not as nice as I used to be. But like, I used to have crazy handles. So like, I had broke him down so crazy that he like scraped his whole hand off the ground, like, and like cut his whole knuckles up and shit. And he got so mad that he wanted to fight. So he like pulls up on me, he swings on me, I duck. And as I duck, my boy Danny just clocked him, knocked him clean. So like right then and there, I was like, yo, that's my dude.
Yeah,
like,
for
you know what
sure.
I mean?
Like, dude's gonna throw something for you real quick.
Yeah, and he didn't know me. He was like, you know, and he said to dude, he was like, bro, he just moved here, bro. You gonna treat him like this? Like,
Yeah.
and I was like, yo, that's an honorable dude, you know. And we stayed close. You know, he got further into the streets than I ever wanted to be in.
Yeah.
And, you know, like when we were in high school, he had passed away and shit. And that was tough for everybody. The whole school shut down. It was crazy because he was such a good dude, good, genuine dude. He was like that to everybody.
Yeah.
So, like, that really affected, like, my whole
A
school,
good dude that was like still involved with the streets.
Yeah.
And,
Like,
that's,
literally that day, everybody, like, the whole school shut down.
Yeah.
Because like people were crying all day because he was just such a good dude. We all had to go to the auditorium. We had grief counseling and everything. That was like the first time. Other kids like died when we were in school.
Yeah.
But like that was the only time like our school shut down. Like we had the whole school had a half a day.
So everyone knew him.
Everybody
He was
knew him.
a
Yeah,
well-known
teachers were
dude.
upset too. Like because he was a good dude. He just started getting further and further in the street. So he stopped showing up to school.
Yeah.
So like everybody knew it was getting deeper.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, man, that's definitely a shame.
yeah.
It was in high school?
That was in high school. Yeah.
Did you hoop in high school?
I did my freshman year, but my dad's a hooper. My dad's like legendary, like
Yeah?
from the port and shit. But he my coach played with my dad, so he treated me different than everybody else.
Yeah.
So it was like I felt like I was the best like fundamental hooper on the squad. Like there was like street ballers that were like crazy good,
Yeah.
but like I was the best fundamental baller on the squad, and he would be like sit me out and shit. I'm like, bro, like I'm about to put up like 10, 12, you know what I mean? In a high school game, that's decent.
Yeah.
So I'm like, we're losing games I'm not in the game. Like I could put up like these points for you, but he never did. So I just stopped playing.
Yeah, it's understandable.
Yeah.
So like, you play any instruments or anything like that?
I got into like when I was a kid. I played. So like when I was in the choir and all that stuff.
Yeah.
I started playing saxophone, but this was like after. This came after I heard. I was
saxophone.
I was like 7.
Yeah, that's sick.
Yeah,
Playing a saxophone.
Yeah.
That's sick.
Because Bill Clinton was playing the saxophone. He was the president when we were kids, right?
Oh yeah, that's why you started playing the sax.
Yeah, because I thought he was cool as fuck for that.
That's
He's
dope.
like, yo, you're the like leader of the free world, but you're on like late night television playing the sax like on some hard shit.
I honestly didn't know that at all.
Yeah,
That's
so
crazy.
So I was like, that's hard.
Well, when did you start making music? Was
I
that
didn't-
in high school?
When I was a senior in high school.
Oh, it didn't come until later.
Yeah, it was like way
Oh,
late. But I was
shit.
like always into rap since I was like 7.
Yeah.
'Cause
Yeah,
I
what
used
kind of
to,
stuff did you listen to back then?
Man, when I first fell in love with hip hop, I was 7 for sure because it was 96, and Reasonable Doubt had came out.
Okay.
Jay-Z's Reasonable Doubt.
Yeah.
That was the first. Like I was sheltered, bro. Like when I tell you, like I only listened to gospel music. That was it because I was at
How'd
the
you
crib
come
at
across
home.
music? From your friends?
My cousin had a store, like a clothing store.
Yeah.
My cousin that owns Trent South.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, Cook. So he owned a clothing store.
Oh,
like,
shit.
back
I
in
didn't
the
know
day.
that at all.
Yeah, like way back in the day when he was like in his early 20s. And
That's
it
wild.
was right in the port. Right, I don't know if you ever heard of Cool Cuts.
Yeah, I know what that
It was
is.
right next to Cool Cuts.
Oh yeah, what was it called?
It was called Young Bucks. So it was like a kids' clothing store.
Damn, that is wild.
Yeah. So like I went to New York with him one time to go pick up clothes. He used to grab them from New York because he had all the stuff. Pittsburgh was always late, so he would go to New
for
York,
sure.
grab stuff, and he would go to like Capsule and like all the
Yeah,
things
yeah,
and
like
get-
kind of the bigger
yeah,
names like back then.
Yeah, and get like all the agreements with like Jordan or whoever, and so we went up there, got some clothes, was bringing them back, and he had it was either a cassette or a CD or whatever it was at the time, but it was in his whip, and like this joint came on, and it was like Reasonable Doubt is like dun 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 dun, and I was like, yo, what is this? Like, and he was like, I don't know, man. Like, some dude just gave me this shit when I was out,
Yeah.
and I was like, oh, all right. Like, I went back to the crib and he just gave it to me because he was like, it was like, how people pass out mixtapes.
Yeah,
around.
for
He's
sure.
Like, I
It's
don't
just
want
a
this.
copy of something.
Yeah, he's like, I don't want this. So like, I was in the crib and my mom had bought like a karaoke set.
Yeah.
It was a cassette player. I put it in, and I was listening to that shit. But it was the music that was like my neighborhood. You know what I mean? So like when I was 7, I was like,
Shit you could relate to.
shit I could relate to.
Yeah.
So I was like, yo, like,
different nerve.
hip hop's crazy. You know what I mean? But I didn't have like at the time you don't have internet or
Yeah,
like
you don't have an outlet to be
Yeah.
able to find it.
So like I would just like when I went back to school after that, I would like, yo, you ever heard of the Jay-Z cat? And no one did because this was like
Yeah,
or
probably-
96.
yeah,
Like if you weren't in New
immediately it first
York,
came out.
yeah, you weren't in New York, you didn't know about him for
Yeah.
because he like couldn't get label deals and shit like that, and you weren't an old head, you didn't know.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So like no one heard about him and shit, and I was like, man, this dude is incredible. Like how does no one know about this
Yeah,
dude?
that's super wild.
And that got me really into like just researching hip hop and being like first to an artist. Like I wanted
Yeah,
to
like
like
first
always
to hear about an artist.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
everyone wants to be the first thing
Yeah.
to like put their boys on.
And then like
someone
years
else.
later, boys would be like, "Yo, like Jay-Z." I'm like, "I told you, bro." Like,
So how did you come across like new music back then without the internet and everything?
really, just my older family members.
Same thing with me. It's like my
Yeah.
brother. I remember I would go into his room and just like look around at shit, and like
Yeah.
he had a No Limit Soldiers CD,
Yeah.
that all black one with the neon tank on
Yeah,
it,
yeah.
centered on the.
Yeah.
And I remember just listening to that, and like he was always listening to like Bone Thugs and Harmony. Like me and him still go see them
Yeah,
every
yeah.
single time they come
Yeah,
around.
Bone Thugs was early for me too,
Dude, it's just like
because they were like, "Yo, these cats are from Ohio." I was like, "Yo, it's like right there."
yeah, right there.
Yeah.
And it's like if he didn't put me onto all that shit, then like who knows where I'd have been. Like Biggie, all that. I just
Yeah.
remember coming home and he would always have like MTV on, and like
Yeah.
I mean, I have to give him so much credit for
Yeah,
putting
like
me
I
on
didn't
that
have
shit.
even have cable when I was young, bro. Like,
Yeah.
so like when I would go to my friend's crib, like MTV would be on. We
Yeah.
watching music videos. I'm like,
Back whenever it was
yo,
good.
yeah. I'm like, whoa, this is crazy.
Now
Like,
it's just Teen Mom and like
Yeah.
Catfish. Dude, they don't even play music no more, really.
yeah, no, it's crazy.
It is. It's
Kind of
wild
sucks.
as hell.
Yeah.
So you come across new music and things like that, and it's like, so you were listening to Jay-Z. Like, what else do
Jay-Z
you remember
early.
back in the day?
Jay-Z early, and then I wanted to do my history because like I was like, I thought hip hop was like new. Like this is
Yeah.
how fresh I was to the sound. Like
Yeah.
I was like,
Coming from gospel,
yeah,
getting that. and
yeah.
it's
I was like, whoa, like
where did
this is
come
like
from?
different, like super rhythmic, like the way they were like rapping over beats. I was like,
Yeah.
yo, it's like his voice is like the drums and shit. Like I was thinking about it like that. So I was like, yo, like I gotta find out more about this stuff. So I was like, so who's with Jay-Z? You know? And I was
Yeah.
like, oh, like I heard Big L. That was the second rapper I heard.
Yeah.
I was like, what the fuck? This dude's better than Jay-Z.
Yeah, he was. I mean, a lot of people still don't know who he is.
Yeah.
It's just like,
And then he died in like 97.
yeah,
You know what I mean? So
he
like,
didn't really get.
yeah, so I was
That's a
like,
shame, too.
I was like, yo, like Big L, he's crazy. And then I would be like, well, who else is around? And that's when I started getting into like Busta was probably like the third or fourth
Dude.
rapper, Nas. So like I'm like getting into like all these people, and then you know Red and Meth like came like shortly after, and it was like different because they were like different. I was like, this shit's crazy. So like when we talk about like hip hop, when I have conversation about hip hop, like I didn't really like before like 91 maybe or 90, I wasn't into like I didn't like get into like, you know, early rap,
Yeah,
like Sugar Hill Gang or whatever. Like
yeah.
I'm not really into like that kind of rap. You know, it was like different. It was like real basic raps.
Yeah.
But like I got into like the more intricate raps like in the 90s, you know.
So like being a part of like the hip hop, like nowadays, like you always put together a mean outfit. Like you always.
Yeah.
So what was it like back then? Like how were you?
Oh, like my clothes definitely changed after I got into rap.
Yeah, I mean, because they had to be a big influence. 'Cause,
Yeah.
like, I think of like what my brother was. I go back to him for so many things because
Yeah.
like I remember like John Blaze, like he was wearing John Blaze, like Echo was popping.
Yeah,
like,
Echo was crazy popping. Fubu,
yeah,
of course.
he had like all these clothes, like the Tommy
Yeah.
Hilfiger shit,
Yeah,
like that,
yeah.
and a lot of it was all hip hop based.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
it's just like hip hop was always like the front runners of like the meanest styles.
Yeah, it was always like I had a lot of, you know, my mom, she did her best, you know what I mean, to like
Yeah.
to do it. But that's when like, because early on, like when I was like 10 is when I kind of started to like do shit for like my family members that were like hustling a little bit, and they would give me extra cheese. So I would go down and buy like shit that I like never could like have and shit.
Yeah.
Like, so like I would be copping like the Ewings and shit, like, you know what I mean, like shoes that like
For
other
sure.
people couldn't have, like the pump joints. So I was like,
I got
you know,
a pair of pumps right up in my closet right
yeah,
now.
like I was like early on the pumps, and like I was rocking like a lot of like you know, Perry Ellis, like
Yeah.
leather jackets, like the shit I saw like the older hustlers wearing and shit. I was like, yeah, I need like a leather Perry Ellis, like that shit is fire.
Yeah, for
and
sure.
you would see that like in the you know, like in the music videos and shit. I'm like, yo, like these dudes are like really balling out, like, and I would be in church and everyone's like broke for real, except for the pastor.
Yeah.
So I'll be like, man, like this is corny, this is whack, like, you know what I mean? Like there's real shit going on outside, like, and like I just got into that, man. I just wanted to have like the freshest shit.
Were you all? Yeah. So you were always like into like looking good with like your
Oh,
clothes
yeah.
and everything like that.
Yeah.
See, I never gave a shit back then. Like I used to wear some dumbass shit. Like I would buy like suit jackets and like
Yeah.
wear them for just to look like a fool.
I was early on like velour outfits too, like.
But don't
like
get me
boy-
wrong. Like back in the day, my mom had me like looking right. Like I remember the biggest thing was like Kennywood outfit.
Oh yeah.
Like
I had the airbrush, like, you know, airbrush was fire.
B. White
back in
had
the
a
day.
line that said, "Shout out to my hood hoes, just for you. I wore my good Kenny Wood clothes."
Yeah,
and
yeah.
every year, dude, my mom would like, I would get a pair of Jordans, and I would get like some like I would just cop everything like around the same feel that my brother would get.
Yeah.
It's like I just wanted to be like him, so like I would have some Jordans, I would
Yeah.
have some Nike shorts,
Yeah,
and like
yeah.
that was you weren't allowed to wear shit until Kennywood.
Yeah.
And you go to Kennywood, go on a fucking water ride, and
Yeah.
like soak
I
your
remember
shit.
my mom one year bought me Shackmans.
Oh,
I was
yeah?
fucking sick though. I was like, yo, like I can't wear these to Kennywood. Yeah. I'm like, she was like, money's tight this year. I'm like, yo, these are Shaqs. Like
Yeah.
it's like his emblem is like him dunking.
Oh,
like,
I
on
know.
the
It's
rail.
like the fake Jordan logo with that.
They were like white and red. And like my mom didn't understand. I'm from a Crip, like the hood we were in is a Crip hood.
Yeah.
So like the shoes were like white and red. She bought me like red shorts and a red like button up.
So you couldn't.
I was like, yo, I can't
that.
wear this. I mean, I wore it, but like, because at that time too, I think this was like early, so I was like still going to Kennywood with my mom. Like I had to walk around Kennywood with my mom and shit. Like she had the fanny pack on, like giving me like coins and shit for the games. You know? Yeah. Like the '90s were lit, yo. Like people don't really understand. I didn't live through it like that.
That was definitely funny back then. Like '90s were probably like, I mean, obviously, like I was only born in the '90s, so like I only seen that, but it's just like everything was dope back then.
Yeah, like I just felt like I say that too. Like I'm like I said that at work the other day. I was like, yeah, the '90s were crazy. They were like, yo, you're only 28. You like were growing up in the '90s. I'm like,
still
bro,
sick,
I was like lit the whole time.
Yeah,
like I
still
remember
sick.
things vividly. Like
everything
that.
was sick,
Yeah.
and that's the same thing I think about. Like it's like those are your most impressionable years. So like I remember all that shit. Like I remember like certain outfits that I had. I had some, dude, my favorite shoes I've ever bought were some Dennis Rodman shoes. Converse Dennis Rodman shoes back in the day with a zipper coming up the tongue.
Yeah.
It's just like, I remember I had that. I had a Dennis Rodman jersey. And it's just like, I was always like into clothes as well whenever I was younger than like middle school and shit. Like, I just remember like not really giving a shit because like I was more hanging out with like the skateboarder type and like wasn't like a big deal.
Yeah.
So like you're coming up to like high school now and senior, like how'd you get involved with like starting to
do music?
Yeah.
It was really, man, like, you know, all my friends at the time were like, yeah, I'm writing my letter to go here, or I'm like doing this, and I was like,
you had no desire to
I'm
go?
like, yo, like I don't know what I want to do. Like you can't. How have you decided what you're gonna do for the rest of your life? Like,
yeah, dude, that's sick to make a 17-year-old try to decide.
Yo, and I'm like, you know, and maybe I was like more. I've always been very observant and like analytical. So like, I was like, yo, how are y'all making? I would have conversations with my homies like, how do you know you want to go there? How do you know you want to move across country?
It's seriously insane to think about.
Oregon or somewhere like.
Especially now, like how old are you right now?
I'm 28.
You're 28 right now. So like, it's like in the last like even 5 years, like 5 years ago, I had a completely different mindset and the way I carry myself. And it's like you're 17,
you have
and
no
you're like,
idea.
People were putting pressure on you, like, well, what are you about to do after high school? And you're like, what the what do you mean?
I haven't even thought about that yet. Like, I'm just
like,
smashing my first piece of pussy. Like,
I know.
I have no idea what I want to do.
It's like what is beyond like hanging out with your friends and like what you're doing on Friday night, and it's so much and it's so crazy, and that's where I think that like the world is super wild because like they put all that pressure on someone whenever they're 17, 18, and it's like you don't even know who you are.
No idea,
you have no idea who you are. So like you're obligating these kids to go to a school, sign like a big ass chunk of money away, and like
at 17, you're not even 18 yet when you're thinking about it.
And like I'm not one of them crazy people that are like I will never conform to the system. You know what I mean? But it's like if you think about it, it's kind of like a wild system we have in place. It's like go to school, get yourself in debt for like 100 G's real quick, and like you're just paying it back. So like forever. Fall into the system. Go to school, get a 9 to 5, and fall into the system. And it's like whenever you're younger, it's like you think about like that's the normal thing to do. Like I have to do that. Like your parents like try to lead you to have like a secure job. Like they just want their kids to do okay and be secure, be able self-sustain, and build their own family.
Exactly.
And it's like they grew up in a different time. Like it's not like that anymore. And I remember being young. Like honestly, my love, like I'm gonna do something different in my life besides working in an office. And it's like my love came from like I remember my dad always taking me to like flea markets. Like I was always around adults. So like I always like carried myself differently. I was never shy. I was always just like I remember I was probably like 7 and down in Palisades in McKeesport. My aunt ran City in McKeesport. Like she put on International Village, all that shit. And
she's a legend.
Dude, she ran all that stuff, and then there was like a sports banquet. Curtis Martin was there, Swing Cash was there.
Yeah, Swing is my god sister.
Oh yeah, dude. So like all these people that were like that, like made it out of McKeesport into like the bigger leagues of like sports were all there, and she was like, "Do you want to read a poem in front of all these people?" And like it was like 400 people, and like my mom literally just brought this up to me, and it's like didn't even faze me back then, dude. It's like, and it's just so wild because we get locked into this system,
Mm-hmm.
and it's just like you just get caught in the machine, and it's
Yeah,
like there's
yeah.
some people that know that they want to break out of
Yeah.
it, and I mean,
And that was my moment. I was like, yo, I can't do like more of this, which is
Yeah.
just school. Like, I was like, I'm gonna go to community college and fill out what I want to do.
yeah,
And it's community college, so like if I lose a couple $100, like it just is what
yeah,
it
it's
is.
not 10 grand. Like if you
Yeah.
get one semester at a different school.
So I was like, yo, like it's only gonna cost me like a couple $100 to take a couple classes. I just want to fill out what I want to do.
Absolutely.
So I was like, I'm not going to no 4-year school. I'm not even worried about that. And then all of a sudden, like, it just kind of came across where I got kicked out my crib when I was 17 by my stepdad.
Okay.
And I had made friends with this dude, Josh Boyle.
Okay.
And we was cool just from school and shit. He graduated a year before me. And we was just talking the night before. I woke up in the morning. My stepdad was mad about some shit. And some stupid shit. It was about turkey bacon. And my mom took turkey bacon to work. He thought I took the turkey bacon to give to like one of my girlfriends or some shit. And he was like, you know, the turkey bacon, where's the turkey bacon? I was like, yo, it's 6 a.m.
Yeah.
Like, what are you really yelling about right now? We got in a big fight. He was like, if you think you're grown, get out. I went upstairs, grabbed my bags. My boy Josh, I was a senior at the time, so he graduated. I grabbed my bags, I'm walking. He lived like up the street from me.
Yeah.
I go to his crib. I was like, yo, like I need a spot to stay, bro. She's like, my mom ain't gonna let you stay here. So his cousin Paul Terry, my boy Sleepy P, his mom worked all the time. Like she took care of like old people.
Yeah.
So she was gone for like 72 hours at a time. So I would stay at his crib for like 3 days. His mom would come back. I would stay in my boy Josh's car. This is like in high school.
Yeah.
And
Damn.
I would then she would be home for 1 day and then leave for like 3 or 4 days again. So I would just like continue that cycle like until I graduated. And then
How long did that go on?
that was in like I had just turned 18, or I was 17. So it was like I got my first crib like right after I graduated high school. So
Yeah.
I was like just turning 18 at the time, and it was like so April to like June or whatever.
Yeah. That's
So like 2 months.
yeah. That's wild.
But like I did that, and then like soon the summer hit, I just asked his mom. I was like, "Yo, can I like stay here for a minute?"
yeah.
And she was like, "Yeah." So I was like, "Yeah." I went like 2 months of like
Sleeping in the car and shit.
yeah, like so it was kind of whack. But then I
that's
got my
messed
first
up.
crib right after that. But when I got my first crib, I got it with my boy Josh, and he was like into making beats at the time. Like he was like really into like Giuliano.
Okay. Yeah.
You know, like Johnny Giuliano was
Yeah.
like at that time. You know, Wiz was put out Prince of the City 2017 or 2007.
Yeah.
So, or Prince of the City 2, I think maybe 2007 or something like that. So we were like riding to that like heavily that summer.
Yeah.
And
banging that all
and
the
then my
time.
man Franchise,
Yeah.
the Come Up Boys, he was rapping back then. So like that's when it became real to me that you could be
a
local
possibility.
and make a CD.
Yeah.
I was like, yo, that's wild. Like, and then like you know, Vinny Radio,
Yep.
he went under a different name, Prophet at the time.
That was his name back then. Prophet?
Yeah, and he was with like a group of people. And I had their CD, I had Fran's CD, and I had the Wiz, and I was banging that shit like all summer.
Yeah.
And I was like, damn, these dudes are from around here. Like, and then my
Why
boys
can't
started
I do
making
it?
beats, and I was like, yo, like, let's build a studio in our crib. And like, I'll try to get Fran to come over, and like, we could start rapping and shit. And
Yeah.
he's like, yeah, let's do it. Fuck it. So like I never got Fran over to crib for like maybe a year or some shit. But then I started rapping, and my boy Josh, and then a couple other friends we had, and we had a little group called the Eastern Empire,
Yeah.
or no, the Eastern Boys. And then I got around Fran and them. Like we like broke up and shit, and got around Fran and them, and they were rapping Mac and Beatty. So it was like Fran and Vinny,
Yeah.
Mac and Beatty, and Ghosty and Vils.
Yeah.
They all had their own, and B White and Mayo. So it was like everybody was like doubled up. They had like their pair of people.
Yeah.
And we all kind of just like merged together in this big thing. Mayo and B kind of like were always on the outside of like the Eastern Empire, but they rocked with us heavy. And Vils and Ghosty had the Scholars, and Mac and Beatty had their thing, which was called
Ill Spoken.
Ill Spoken.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like it was the Come Up, Ill Spoken, the Scholars, and then me.
There was no beef with any Ians. Like you all. I mean,
It was all up because we were
support.
all like, we would just be at the Shadow Lounge, like.
Yeah, that dude. I was just gonna say
You
that.
know,
Like I remember
that was
seeing
like the
Come Up
shelter for
Boys
us, yo.
and 58s.
Yeah.
And I worked for. I worked on a street team for Blasphemy. That store Blasphemy.
yeah.
And like I would just go to shows and hand
Yeah.
out pins and stickers and
Yeah.
shit. It's like, hey, come shop with us.
Yeah.
And it was Come Up Boys. Beatty was there. Varsity Squad. Varsity Squad. Yeah.
Varsity Squad too. Yeah.
Yeah.
So like after BD and
Yeah.
Mac stopped doing.
Oh
Mac
yeah,
went
yeah,
solo.
that's what it was.
And
So
BD
it
got
was
with John
after,
Quest.
It had to be after that, and that's
Yeah.
when he was with John Quest.
Yeah,
so
but
it
that
was-
Mac and BD that ended like 2008, 2009. So like, that was pretty early in the process.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's crazy. Though Shadow Lounge
Shadow Lounge. Yeah, that's where I met Mac for the
place
first
ain't
time.
around no more.
Yeah.
That's messed up.
Yeah.
Because like you think about that, and there was a lot of crazy shit that happened there.
It was legendary, bro.
Yeah.
Like I did, my first show was there.
Why you think I shut
August
down?
8th, 2008. I think it was like, so like the rumor is it was too much riffraff for the neighborhood, where the neighborhood was going.
Yeah, I bet
So like when the lease was up.
they probably
It
just
was
wanted
just-
to
it was
put
just
a
up,
kibosh
yeah.
on it. You know,
Yeah.
that's fucked up though
Yeah,
because
it's
that
fucked
place
up.
was
Because
legendary.
they built the, it was like a apartment building right there with like.
yeah, and they were trying to like upscale the whole town.
Yeah, and
That's
it just
definitely-
got crazy. It was like a fight at like a 58 show, like not too long before that happened. I think that was like maybe the spark off or something.
I bet.
I think Mayo stomped somebody out outside or some shit.
That dude throws hands. He ain't bad at it though. But so you said you did your first show there. Like that was the first place you performed.
Performed ever, man.
Now, what was
August
that?
8th,
What did that
2008.
feel like? Were you scared?
No, cause I mean I did like I did musicals in high school and shit. Like I was chasing this girl around.
Oh,
trying to-
yeah?
yeah.
You were in the musicals and shit.
Yeah. I was chasing this girl around my senior year, trying to do whatever she was in. You know what I mean?
That's wild. Were you in like plays?
Yeah, I did. I done did one. I did Les Miserables. And
that's
I was supposed to
wild.
do like High School Musical, which it was mad corny anyway. So like I didn't really like want to do it.
Yeah.
And I ended up like dislocating my collarbone and shit, like playing football like a week before like the
You
show.
played sports in high school?
This was like outside.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, I got like dog piled and dislocated my collarbone and shit. So like I couldn't do none of the dance moves, so they kicked me out of the thing. But I was cool because I was doing like real corny shit, man. Like,
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah.
High School Musical. That was a corny ass movie. I bet.
Yeah.
I bet it'd be funny getting up in front of everyone trying to like.
I'm glad
dance around.
I'm glad there's not any video. Like there'll never be like video of that ever pops up on the internet.
So what were you doing back then for like job wise? Like if you were by yourself and like trying to and you got your own crib. And
Yeah, I got my own crib. I was working at Foot Action.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I had a bunch of jobs like at the time.
Yeah, that's it.
Like I had one job when I was 16 at McDonald's, and I didn't work again until I was 18. But I worked at Foot Action shoe store. You know, I was lit off that though.
Yeah,
like that's like the job. Like that's like the job you want to get.
Yeah, you
like, at
use
18,
the benefits. You're like, yeah, dude, I
Yeah.
got anything I want over here. Like,
Yeah.
come and see me because
Yeah,
you
so
know everyone.
that's actually how I got in with Fran Closer franchise. So I was like working there, but I became a manager in like 4 months.
Yeah,
And he was looking for like a job and shit, and I like got him in there, and that's
dope.
when we started rocking like heavily.
so you and him started making some music together, like all the
Yeah,
like,
that was the first time I was in an actual studio. It was getting on a song with him and Vinny Radio, but like Vinny had quit rapping at a time. He like retired from rap.
oh yeah,
Yeah, and the song I'm on is called Pittsburgh's Player Circle. It's a legendary record, but that was my first time in the studio ever being on a CD, and Vinny came back from retirement on that record, and Fran was like dropping like his first like bigger project with like beats from like Giuliano and like shit like that.
yeah.
And he recorded it all down ID and everything. That's when we met Germ for the first time and all
Legendary
that
ID
shit.
Labs,
Yeah,
Pittsburgh staple.
yeah. We met Germ there. That was like when Germ.
What's your
Yes, ma'am.
what's like your writing process like? Are you more like the off the top, or are you like a pen and pad type of person?
No, I it's evolved over time.
Yeah, 'cause,
back
like-
then I used to like my first session, bro. I had it typed out. Like I was at the computer, like typing out my rhymes because I didn't want it to be like ineligible when I like.
Yeah, for sure.
Wrote it, like, I wanted to be
Especially
able
if
to,
you're
like,
recording
read
with
it.
some people
Yeah.
who are already making music and you're
Yeah.
trying to like show them your stuff.
Yeah.
And, like, you
So I
wanna
was
come
like,
correct
yeah,
it.
and that was my first time in a big studio. I didn't know how I was gonna feel. I was mad nervous. I ran out of breath after 8 bars. Like I was like,
Yeah.
and they were like, I got out the booth like, yo, I'm sorry. They were like, yo, you're killing it, bro. Go back in.
Yeah, so they
That
like
shit was
took
just
you in pretty well.
motivational. Yeah,
That's dope though.
yeah. And they taught me the game for real. Like they taught me how to really spit. I used to watch them write.
Yeah.
If Vinny doesn't write though, he's like Jay. Like he just sits there, and then
Really?
he has a verse. I'm just like, what the fuck?
Dude, they got some crazy tracks for sure.
Yeah, they're wild.
They are
Yeah.
wild. I remember
Yeah.
seeing them, and it's like the stage presence was crazy with
Always,
that too.
yeah.
And it's like that's what was so sick about Shadow Lounge, because like it had that small ass like stage,
Yeah.
and like it was just the power. It was such a powerful feeling
Yeah,
to
yeah.
be in there, because like
Yeah.
like you said, it's like a fucking. It was like the shelter. It's
Yeah,
like
yeah.
people go down there and they were just like that's like.
Yeah, we were like
wild.
the pioneers, yo. Like, you know, like that whole crew I talked about, Hubs.
Hubs is coming on
Yeah.
Monday.
Yeah, lit.
You already know I got him coming on Monday. I can't wait to talk to him. I've known him for a minute too, just
Yeah.
through passing, and like
Yeah.
he's a fascinating dude. I can't wait to talk to him.
Yeah, there was like other groups at the time that aren't groups anymore, but they were like super hip hop, but they were like a big ass group, 6 of them. They would just go back and forth.
Yeah,
It used to be like rappers back, rap battles back then down there.
that's dope
It was
though. That
lit,
it was
man.
all like all love for everyone. It's like everyone supporting each other.
Everyone, that was the time in Pittsburgh where like everyone, it just supported everyone.
Yeah,
Then it got like after people started like Wiz was never part of that. You know,
yeah.
he was
'cause
always
he was kind of.
he was always kind of separate. He was always signed to Rostrum. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like that was like a thing from 15. He was like that was going to happen for him. You know?
Now you knew Mac before he was like super famous. Like
Yeah.
he always was just like crazy talented with
Crazy.
Like,
Yeah, like when I met him outside the Shadow Lounge before I knew him and Fran even knew each other.
Yeah,
He was like rapping outside of Shadow Lounge because I don't think they let him in because he was like 15 or 14 or some shit.
yeah. That's what I was
So,
gonna
like-
say. Like because I remember he was way younger, not
Way-
way younger,
yeah.
like 4 or 5 years, but
Yeah.
like didn't you have to be like 18 to get in there?
Yeah,
in
I think
Shadow
so.
Lounger thing?
Yeah, so he would be outside and he was rapping in like a group. I couldn't see him, and everybody was like, "Ooh!" And like the group like broke up, and it was like this little white dude.
Yeah, so like
I
what
was
was
like, what
was
the
like was there a stigma against like the white rappers? Like I mean, because
no,
you know
no.
that's a question
Yeah.
that like is always going to be relevant. Like you see
Yeah.
Post Malone and shit like that.
Oh
who's
yeah,
like,
he's corny because he has a #1 record.
I mean, I get it. It's just like, but did you see what he just said?
Yeah,
he's
like it's
getting-
hard to be like a white rapper.
Yeah, he's getting roasted alive like
Yeah.
that.
Like,
Like,
whatever,
do you think
bro.
that
You have
that's
a #1 record.
a relevant thing?
I don't like when it comes to like actual sales and fans. No,
Yeah,
I think if you listen to the noise, yeah,
yeah,
like that was like a thing like early like, but it was an advantage for Mac because he was so good.
yeah. It's
You
like,
know, like
wild to see a white dude that's like that can
that
spit.
that confident in spitting. Like it wasn't even like he
at a
was
young
saying.
age,
It wasn't like he
like,
was saying
pretty
anything like,
confident.
bro. Like
Yeah.
that's what blew me away. Like he left the group split up, and it was like this little white dude, and he was like confident as fuck. Like
That
yeah,
is
yeah.
wild.
And I was like, yo, what's up, man? Like he was like, yo, what's up? Like my name's it was Easy Mac at the time. He was like, yeah, it's
Yeah.
Easy Mac. I was like, where, bro? I was like, yeah, we should get up, and we became just cool because we were the 2 youngest of like everybody that was in that whole crew.
Yeah,
And then
Fran and Vinny they're older.
older
as well.
than me, yeah, 30, yeah.
Probably same as like B White and all
Yeah,
them.
yeah. So
they're
2 years,
31, 30.
2 years, 3 years older than me. So like me and Mac just kind of clicked up.
That's dope.
Yeah, and that's why we started Most Dope with Tree JQ, Jimmy,
Yeah,
myself, and we all got tatted up and shit. Like I got this Most Dope tat on my arm,
yeah.
and shit was just cool, man. It was a great time, and we did a lot. We started traveling. Like I quit my jobs and shit.
This
like
is 2009, 2010 around.
2009, yeah.
Yeah.
Because I quit my job and everything, and we was just traveling, man. We did like big shows. We linked up with like people that like the homie Will Calson like knew from college that like started like managing like artists and shit. He would get us like Indy 500, like it's called Little 500 in Indiana University, like the actual university,
Yeah.
in front of like 10,000 people.
Oh, that was a show?
Yeah, Wiz
No.
was like headlining. We were on there, DJ Unk. This is like that
wow,
time, yeah.
jeez.
Jeezy.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, it was fucking dope. That was like our first big show.
That's wild.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it was
Back
wild.
in the day,
And we did like a
10,
mansion
2010,
party.
You said
2009, yeah.
Oh,
2010 he got signed.
that's crazy.
Yeah.
I remember whenever Kids dropped, and that was like
Yeah, it was 2010. Yeah, he got signed off that.
that's wild. So like you were making music and things like that, like
During that time?
Yeah.
Yeah. But it was like I was
Like when did you put out your first project?
2010.
2010.
Yeah.
That's dope.
Beautiful music.
And how did
project.
that? How'd you like? What was the reaction like with that?
crazy. I didn't expect how crazy it was going to be, but it was a lot because I built up so much work with Mac.
Yeah.
So like the name recognition alone was like
Kind of got a little buzz.
kind of got buzzed. Just
Yeah,
off
which
of,
isn't
just off of
like-
that, which is perfect for me.
Yeah, I mean, like
And,
starting out.
Yeah, because like I was rapping at the time. I was building that project for like a year or two, but I was more concerned on Mac because like I knew he was gonna make it.
Yeah.
So I was like, yo, like let's focus on that. Like any money that like me, Q, Tree J could get together, like we were robbing boys, like doing all type of shit because we were like, yo, Mac's gonna make it, bro.
Yeah.
Like he needs to be in the studio. Like, and they weren't giving us free studio time. So like, you know,
Yeah.
like we had to be in there and we were doing everything we could. Like I remember me and Tree J like walking into a party, picking up a TV like that, unplugging it and walking out to go pawn it to get
Jesus.
like, we took it to Germ and he gave us like 10-hour block. For
That-
but like we needed that, like that was like we needed that shit like so
Yeah.
bad, like, and you know, Mac's mom would like give us cash and shit on the low,
That's
and we'd
dope.
be like, don't tell Malcolm I gave it to you,
Yeah.
because she didn't want him to know. But yeah, man, all that shit just like it just made it all worth it. You know what I mean? And it just came through, man. He fucking did it.
That's dope.
Yeah.
Now, you were making that project and like, now were you playing more shows then?
I was doing like the shows I was doing. I didn't have no songs really recorded like
Yeah.
now, so I was just rapping over industry beats at my shows.
Now, were you always like a, like, what's the word to describe it? Like, you weren't like shy on stage or anything
Nah, I
like
was
that?
always a good performer. I think that
Yeah.
was like, you know, like that first show that
Yeah.
I got a standing ovation. Boys was like, yo, you remind me of Jay-Z. Like, but I had, so what I did in school, so this is like 2007, Fade to Black DVD,
Yeah.
like that Jay-Z documentary DVD.
Yeah.
I watched that shit every night, back to back to back until I fell asleep every single night. So like when I performed, I was ready. Because
Yeah.
I was like, yo, this is what Jay-Z does. Like he's poised, he's up there, he knows all
So
of
like
this
that's
shit.
who you were like
I was just like that.
inspired by
Yeah.
for sure.
So like I always had, that's been the thing that's carried me, I think, this far, is my performance. You
Now,
know?
were you always known as Palermo Stone?
Nah, I was Tip the Ill Spit.
Tip the ill
Yeah,
spit.
yeah. 'Cause my nickname was always Tip.
Yeah.
From like the time when I moved.
Your real name is
from-
Tyrone.
Yeah, yeah. So when I
Okay.
moved from McKeesport to Woodland Hills, like I said, like I had all these girls and shit, and this one girl, Tierra Pompey, she was like, yeah, like Ty is pimp. So she was like, yeah, I'm gonna call you Tip. So I was like, all right, like whatever.
Yeah.
And so that was like my name was Tip from like 7th grade on. And then like they'd be like, yo, what's your rap name? I'm like, Tip. And then people be like, all right, I'll rap, and they'd be like, yo, you spit ill shit. So I'm like, all right, well, I'm Tip the Ill Spit then. Or Fran, I think Fran was like,
That's a dope name.
yeah, I think Fran was like, yeah, you Tip the Ill Spit.
Now, the Palermo Stone, now does that have the influence from like the Egyptian culture?
Yeah. So it's like, you know, it's like a actual stone
Yeah.
that has like the 5th century,
Like everything that
pharaohs,
happened,
King
like
Tut,
all the people of power, like all
Yeah.
the things, like the big events that happened in that time.
It's like the Bible basically for like that time.
yeah, that time period
Yeah.
and those that group of people.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
But it was like, you know, I related to myself as like,
How'd that come about?
bro, in a dream, bro. Like I dream songs
Yeah.
and I dream ideas and shit.
Yeah.
And I dreamt that because that was my name, bro. I didn't even know what it was when I woke up. I had to like research it. But like some people were calling me that like in my dream. But I was like famous and shit, you know what I mean? Like in my dream, they
Yeah.
were like, yo, Palermo Stone. I was like, but I was like, yeah, I was just like with it, you know what I mean? I'm like, yo, like what's good?
That's
And I
dope.
was like, yo, what is that? And then like once I researched it, I was like, damn, this makes so much sense. But I was like on some different shit at that time, like doing shrooms and shit. So like, you know what I mean? So like,
You
I
were
think
into
I was in tune. You know what I mean? I was like in tune with my
touch with yourself.
yeah, with my higher self.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like, it just came to me in a dream, and it was worth it, bro. Like,
That's
because
a
it
dope name,
related
man.
to myself is like it was lost for like after the decline of the Egyptian Empire, it was lost for centuries.
Yeah.
So like people use it as like a doorstop and like to like hold up a table and shit. And then once the Rosetta Stone came, that's how they deciphered
Yeah,
hieroglyphics.
deciphered how to read it and
Yeah,
shit like that.
and then like dude was like read it and he was like, "Oh, like this is
like a book of
of shit."
past.
Yeah. So like he sent it to someone, and they were like, "Yeah, this is like all the stories of like
I don't even
King
know
Tut
how I
and
know
Nefertiti
about
and
that.
stuff.
I don't know if that was something in school or something that like I heard on a podcast or
Yeah.
some shit like that.
Yeah, it's
But,
like
that's what I was curious.
it was
about.
wild though, and that's like you never know. The world doesn't know who you are. Like I always knew, and I know that I'm a king.
Yeah,
I know my worth.
yeah,
But until the world understands what you really are,
yeah,
then like they're not gonna accept you as that. You know what I mean?
yeah.
So like I still relate myself to that. Like I'm still working my way up to be etched with the kings. You know
That's
what I mean?
dope.
Yeah,
That's some powerful shit.
yeah. I feel that shit like every day, man. Like I wake up, like when people say it, like
I've only known you as Palermo.
yeah, when people say it, it's like they don't know how much it means to me because like I really take that shit to heart. Like what I mean? Like I'm gonna get there one day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're a motivational dude for sure. You're always around. You got all the like. I think it's super motivational for like the whole like your brand like Rare Year.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
how did that come around?
That was also like some dream type shit. Where I woke up, like I used to live in Mount Washington with the homies, and I woke up and I was like, yeah, revitalizing art, reinventing emotion is how the name even came.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so like someone the day before asked me like how I create music. Like I guess the question you asked earlier, like
Yeah, it's
what's
like-
my process?
Yeah.
It's like like there was a point in time like in the 2000s where like people were like, oh, music's losing that 90s era feel, right? The golden era feel.
Yeah.
So like I was like, we need to revitalize the art in the music. So I was like revitalizing art, and then like what I do is kind of reinvent emotions. Like I pulled it from a place in time or like my friends' experiences, and then I put it to words and put it on wax. You know what I mean? So I was like, this is kind of how I do it. I just like reinvent the emotion like every time.
That's dope.
And I was like, people were like, yo, you're gonna run out of shit to talk about. I was like, there's never like people have made like there's like a wheel.
Bro, if
People
you're living
have-
life, you
people
always
have,
got
like-
shit to talk about.
And I said this to somebody. I was like, there's like when the wheel first was invented, it was like a wooden wheel. And then now
Could always make
it's
things
advanced.
better.
Yeah, I was like, you just get better and better
That's all
at
it is.
saying the same thing.
You could always
Yeah.
make things better and shine
Yeah.
things up. Things could always improve.
Yeah,
That's dope though. So like you got involved with like, so we're right around like 2011, 2012. Is that
Yeah.
whenever that started?
yeah, around like 2012. Cause I had dropped my first project, 2010, Beautiful Music,
Yeah.
and then I didn't drop another project until 2012, which was called For My Culture.
Okay. Now were these all like how many like track mixtapes?
They were always small. I always did like I always kind of understood. I didn't like listening to 20 plus tracks.
Yeah, like I could
so like I was like
more like
15
the
tracks.
meat instead of
Yeah.
like any fluff. It's just
Yeah.
like put out your
Yeah,
hard
put out-
hitters.
yeah, and then that was it. But I still do this. I record like for my album. Like I know when it's done.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I
So
just
how
start
did you
recording.
get your music out? Like was like were you
at that time it's like the internet
wasn't where it is now.
where it is now,
So like
so,
I know that
yeah.
there was like probably the most popular thing back then was like MySpace.
Yeah.
And like did you get
MySpace
it out
was
through
lit.
that?
I got it out through honestly, yeah, MySpace.
And I also know that
but it
like,
wasn't really digital, man. I was really popular here.
Yeah.
So like I was selling CDs left and right.
Yeah.
I moved through hundreds of CDs.
Yeah. Just
So-
whipping them out the trunk.
Yeah.
Now, were you part of like the whole progression with Time Bomb and like putting tracks? Like Time Bomb definitely was a huge staple in
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
like in fashion and hip hop culture in
Yeah.
Pittsburgh. Like
Yeah.
I remember going there and like Brick from Time Bomb would always have so much support for like
Yeah.
local art and
Yeah.
always have the tapes and
Yeah.
always have people performing there. It's like I actually met Spills at CCAC, but then like I remember meeting him at CCAC and then like not seeing him again and then seeing him spinning down a
Yeah,
Time
yeah,
Bomb
yeah.
whenever I went to go grab some shirts or whatever. And like they always would have like all these mixtapes there.
Yeah.
And I remember
Oh,
that
yeah,
was
we were pushing
such a big outlet.
Yeah, he was pushing mixtapes, and my boy Billy Hoyle,
Yeah, yeah.
Anthony.
Yeah.
He,
Anthony Bowser. I asked him to be on here as well.
Yeah, Billy Bob, man. He got some stories too, man.
Yeah, I'm excited to talk to him too.
That's my dude, man. I really genuinely love that dude. He's such a good dude. But he was down there, man, and he supported me heavily, man. Like he would be pushing my shit, and then you would come. That was like the first like time where, it was like, yeah, my shit's in stores. Like go pick it up at Time Bomb.
Bro,
You know
for
what I
real,
mean?
he's the inspiration of me wanting to like work with Threads and pursue that
Yeah.
is because like I saw him like Brick's Little Apprentice like moving some shit, and I'm just like, dude, like the environment of that is like what I want to submerge myself in.
Yeah.
And like that's like kind of like the feel that like that's the kind of shit we take away for Threads. It's like it's just like an outlet to support like the local movement of things.
It's beautiful and it's growing right now.
Yeah, it's growing crazy like a weed.
Yeah.
And it's like you can't beat that.
Yeah.
So you're making all this music, putting your music out, whipping CDs out of your trunk, and like you catching a buzz, like
yeah. Like here, I felt like, you know, at that time, especially like we were the pioneers of Pittsburgh hip hop.
Yeah.
And you know, especially for like people that were our age. Like I still had fans in high school and I had older fans. So like, and people that were my age. So it was like at that time I was able to literally make a CD, make like $4,000 or $5,000 and be like, cool. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You just knew that it was gonna like
I
catch
knew,
a little
I
bit
knew
right
it was
there.
gonna sell. And then like YouTube became a thing, and you know, we got in good. Like we had Rex Arrow, you know, Ian Wolfson like real early.
Yep.
I'm great at finding things that have potential of talent. So like I was early on Frank Udevac, who went on to like do videos for Wiz and Chevy and shit like that.
Yeah.
I was early on Dan Folger, who eventually went on to do shit for Wiz and Chevy and them.
Yeah.
And he did my photography. Like Dan did my photography. Like his first photos shoot was me.
Oh yeah.
But I was like, I seen the talent like early, man. Like way early. He was taking little photos and shit. I was like, yo, this dude's actually tight. He has a good perspective.
About to be nice for sure.
And I was early on that shit. So like I had like the videographers, I had the photographers like mad early. So like my digital look, I was like, yeah, I got to get on this digital wave. Like my digital look was getting better and better. So like my early videos were doing like, you know, 10, 15, 20,000.
Doing like
before everyone was doing 10, 15, 20,000 on YouTube.
By taking a professional approach of it all, like really concentrating on all that.
On the aesthetic of the look.
That's dope.
Yeah.
That's definitely a big deal. I mean, especially nowadays with all this like shit that's coming out. Yeah. It's like if you got a professional looking video, you could fucking say anything on the track, and if you're marketable enough, you got rainbow hair and like fucked up teeth and
boy 6'9".
Yeah, and tattoos on his face. Did you see he just signed that record deal?
Yeah, I don't know how true that is though.
I don't know.
7.5 million.
Yeah, I mean, like I saw Taylor Maglin talking about it, and then like I was looking on his Instagram.
You know, like Max signed to Warner Brothers as a label deal for $10 million.
Yeah,
but like if it's not a label deal, I don't get it.
Yeah, it's just like that. I mean, like that dude puts some things out online, and it's just like if you listen to his music, 6ix9ine,
I've never heard it.
I mean, like I get the whole mumble rap movement. Like
he's not the Gucci Gang one. That's Lil Pump. Yeah,
but like I don't know.
I like that music.
I like catchy music, but it's just like
I've never heard 6ix9ine's music.
It's wild.
He's always just looked too wild to me.
Yeah, super wild. Yeah. Like rainbow hair, rainbow teeth.
Yeah, like you know, he reminds me of like shit that I didn't listen to back in the day, like Insane Clown Posse, like for the reason of like they're
trying too hard.
Yeah,
I feel like that. It's just like I feel like that. Like I understand an image is like part of the brand, but like I feel like that right there is just like. I mean, do you think that dude really wants a 6 and a 9 tattooed on his face? Like,
I don't think so.
Do you think that people that do things like that are just doing it for like the attention wise?
It's just like it gets like in this day and age, you got to know what's gonna sell.
And it's just like people want like the crazy like, wild ass shit.
I was talking to Fuad about this like a month ago, 2 months ago. He's like, yo, you gotta get on your social media shit. I'm like, I'm not like that, bro.
Yeah.
Like I'm real chill. I'm like a regular dude. I don't want to do nothing that's like out of the ordinary. That's not me. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
I was like, I just make good music and put it out. That's like that's my shtick.
That's what you rely on is by your talent.
Yeah. Like if I don't get on, I just know I was talented every step of the way.
Yeah, and I think that's so much. I mean, that's so much more respectable for sure. Is like being true and like just like following your own path, and like that's how I am. It's just like there's shit that I like, and if I don't like it, I don't like it. If I like it, I like it. And
Yeah.
that's how I feel about this podcast. Like if people listen to it, like I appreciate everyone that listens to it.
Yeah.
But if they don't, then
Then
whatever.
they don't,
That's,
yeah.
it ain't a big deal to me.
That's how I feel too. I never got caught up on numbers and any of that stuff, bro. Like never.
And it sucks because like that's honestly the world we're living in now.
Yeah.
People get verified, like they get verification and like they get clout by like their followers and like their numbers, their follower to following ratio.
Right, yeah.
And it's like if you're following like 1,000 people and you
Yeah.
only got 200
Yeah,
followers, like people probably look at your profile and are like,
yo, you're corny.
yeah, it's and like that's
It's funny,
unfortunate
it's like
because
funny
like
shit.
people be slept on
Yeah.
because of things like that.
Oh,
And
yeah.
it's just like the market I feel is just so saturated as far as like clothing is saturated now. Everyone's clothing.
Yep.
Everyone
Everyone
is
got
a
a brand.
rapper. Everyone is a photographer.
Yeah.
Everyone's a videographer.
Yeah. Like rap's getting lame to me. Like I love it for I'll only keep doing it for the art.
Yeah.
Because it's like other than that, it's lame as fuck.
That's something you're passionate about.
Yeah.
And that's dope because
Yeah.
like I feel that you could tell, like if you're a real person and you're a like-minded person like both of us, like I feel that we're like-minded. Like we have a strong head about ourselves. We know what we want and we
Yeah.
know what we're gonna do
Yeah.
and we're gonna do it
Yeah.
regardless of how long it takes.
Yeah.
And it's like that's why like I always even in crossing, like I always would we'd see each other, say what's up, and it was like it'd be a minute before we seen each other again,
Yeah.
but like see each other again and be back up.
Yeah.
And it's like you could tell those people, like you could definitely tell the people that are what's the word, like that have that potential,
Yeah.
that like have that carry that with them.
Yeah.
And it's interesting. So how'd you link up with like, I mean, for you to be the strong-minded person yourself, you built a pretty solid team with everyone you got, like Spills, like that's
Yeah.
one of the hardest working dudes in the city.
Yo, and he's crazy popping right now.
Everywhere.
Yeah,
Dude,
yeah.
my man is everywhere.
Yeah.
I've never seen someone with more energy and just like a nicer person. It's
Yeah.
just like the dude is such a good-hearted person.
Yeah, he started out as my drummer because he did bands. You gotta have him
I
on
knew that.
too. Yeah,
I knew. Oh, he'll be on. He'll definitely be on.
he started out as in my band as my drummer
Yeah.
and DJ. It was like when we couldn't do band gigs. Well, it was
Now,
really.
what do
I
you
wouldn't
mean
even say it
band?
was a band.
Like a
it
live
was
show.
just- yeah,
like
a
live
show,
instrument shows.
yeah.
Like,
And
yeah,
it
that's
wasn't
dope.
like a band. I wouldn't even say it was a band. He just drummed for me as I rapped.
Yeah.
And I eventually built like a band that was separate from that.
Mm-hmm.
But that's when he like transitioned to being my DJ. But it was like one thing I was like, bro, like they're not paying me to do shows.
Yeah.
So like if you want to make money in music, just be a DJ. But like get really fucking good at it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Like
'cause I
actually
can't-
put in the time.
Yeah, like like
And he's nice.
and he's nice and he respects me, man. He respects the music and we became best friends. Like that's my best friend.
Yeah.
So like he always took how serious I did me, and he just like replicated that with himself, and like he would go to work 5 o'clock, get home 5:30. He's spinning,
Yeah.
he's trying to get better at it.
And those are the people you want to surround yourself
Yeah,
with.
yeah.
Motivational people that
Yeah,
keep
he-
you
and
wanting
he
to
does
do
that-
better.
He does that today. Like this is like years down the line. He
Bruh,
goes to work,
I
comes
just
home, and does it.
Don't even get it. It's just like the dude. I mean, I feel like we all just have a bunch of side hustles. Like,
Yeah.
Because those are the people that like I feel that we gravitate towards.
Yeah.
It's like people that are like you, and it's like I got a couple jobs. Spill's got 1,000 jobs. Like
Yeah.
you see that dude working a regular job, and then he's
Yeah.
doing shows all the
Yeah.
time.
Like leave work maybe an hour early.
Yeah,
like,
just DJing the Hardo show that just
Yeah.
happened. Like it was.
Yeah.
He's just everywhere as well. And so you have a pretty
Spills.
pretty hard team. JKJ.
JKJ.
Dude, super nice. I saw that snippet he put online the other
Yeah,
day.
yeah.
Like, I can't wait to hear all
Yeah,
that shit.
it's getting crazy. Yeah, man, JKJ. He's the hardest working dude. He's in the studio every day.
JKJ?
Yeah, he works 2 jobs.
And
he's
one
in
of
the
the
studio
one of
every
the
day.
nicest people I ever met.
Yeah.
Always showing love, always coming
Yeah.
down to support people.
Mhm.
And that's what's so good about like for
he's
me at
different. He's
least.
different than me.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
I me working at Threads, like we always do all these events and everything like
Mm-hmm.
that with all the local artists, and it gives like me being someone that's there
Mm-hmm.
working them, you see who is like a team player.
Right.
and who is like really trying to do it, and who is really trying to like make the connections and
he's one of those dudes.
yeah, and work with different people and everything like that. And it's just like,
and he wants to work with everyone. And we clash heads on that sometimes.
yeah,
just because I'm different.
Yeah.
Like I'm really like to myself for the most part.
yeah,
Like even my song, like my albums, I don't do many features.
yeah,
And like this last project was the one I did the most features, and it was like the most frustrating situation because like you got to be on other people's time and shit.
yeah,
So like, but he'll wait, he'll like push his project back to like get people on it and shit. Like, dude really is a team player when it comes to that, and we rally around him. You know what I mean? Like I told him, like he's like a rapper, like a real rapper.
yeah.
I'm like, it's going
Really
your,
out there
your,
trying
pa-
to make
your
it.
path is going to take longer, but you just keep putting out music.
Yeah,
You
but
know
the
what
longer he takes it, the nicer he's gonna
I mean?
get.
Yeah, like the new shit he's doing now is crazy. He's finding his sound and he's finding like his mix. Like Norman Stoney.
Yeah,
He's really finding like his mix and his vocal and how
I
to
want
make
to
that
talk
shit
to all
clean.
them dudes. Like I want to
Yeah.
talk to JKJ. I want
Yeah.
to talk to Stoney. All them. Like
Yeah.
because like they're like I see all the people that are like that I notice that are like the hardworking people.
Yeah,
And like that's like the people that I want to speak with.
Yeah.
And like I want to hear like how you grew up, and I want to hear like why you got into music
Yeah.
and what happened in high school and
Yeah.
shit like that. I just think it's so interesting.
yeah.
And it's like there's a couple podcasts in like the city and everything like that, but it's just like I want to create my own
Yeah.
content.
Yeah.
And I want to have my own conversations and ask my own questions with
Yeah.
people and things.
Yeah, that's why I wanted to be here, bro.
Yeah, and I'm
Yeah.
pumped. I'm pumped we made it happen.
Yeah.
It's like been trying for a minute. The weather definitely spun us last time.
Yeah.
So like, what do you got going on like now? You guys are just
Um,
all working, all trying to.
Yeah, man. Everybody's working. I put like so much time and energy into Henny Hardaway.
Yeah.
Came out in November. I just took like a little hiatus, clear
Yeah.
my brain. Cause I've been focused on rap, like I
That's
said,
all
man.
available everywhere.
everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, Spotify, Apple Music, iTunes.
Yeah, and I'll put all the links and all the descriptions and everything.
And that shit, man, that's like my baby, man. Like since I got on, like I did Hen Dog Millionaire,
Yeah.
and then I did Henny Hardaway. Like this, just like Hen Dog Millionaire was like my rebirth. It was like my second lap, my second win. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? So like I've been rapping, and real technical raps, and not necessarily all the time, but now, like 2 years ago, I was like, damn, I just want to have start having fun.
Yeah.
Like have fun again, So like just been making music like that, and just not thinking too much about it.
Just doing
Like you
what
said,
feels
like,
right.
yeah, like my process has changed. So now I just get in the studio and with nothing, and then build while I'm in the studio.
Yeah.
Because I can't write anymore and go back in. It doesn't sound the same or feel the same.
Yeah.
Because like before, I used to be able to write. Then the next day, I would just hit up like Mike Hitt and be like, "Yo, I gotta come to the studio," and he would just clear time for me. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? But when I started recording myself, it's right there. So like now I'm just like in the crib.
That's
and I
what you
can just
usually
sit
do. Is you
down.
usually record yourself.
Yeah, since Hen Dog Millionaire, I've been recording myself.
That's dope.
Yeah,
Now, how'd you learn how to do all that? Just by like,
just being in the studio
Yeah.
constantly for years, just like watching.
asking questions,
Yeah,
things
yeah.
like that.
And I'm a student to everything.
Yeah, exactly.
So like I'd be
That's
watching.
why I'm trying to create this podcast
yeah,
by myself.
watch, ask questions.
If you could do it all yourself, you don't have to rely on nobody.
Yeah, you don't gotta
can
wait.
just-
Like I don't like waiting for people.
I agree.
You know what I mean? I like being on my time.
It's frustrating,
Yeah,
and that could like that's why I made them close for a minute.
yeah,
That's why I stopped, because like I have no like physical artistic ability.
Yeah.
Like I cannot draw.
Yeah.
I cannot draw shit. Like I'm the worst at
Yeah.
it, and it's difficult to like rely on other people
Yeah.
to like create things,
That's why,
especially with
bro,
the mindset that you
yeah.
have. Like they can never replicate what you have in your
Yeah.
mind on the paper.
yeah. It's like always hard.
Yeah, it's always hard because
Yeah.
people just have
That's
a
why
different way of
all
thinking.
my album covers I think are fire.
Bro,
But
the Henny Hardaway album cover
Yeah.
is super. It's
Yeah.
mean as
Yeah,
hell.
clean. But like I have these ideas and I do them myself,
Yeah,
and then I send them to people to like make them better.
yeah,
Like I shoot it, I find the fonts, like all that shit, and I'm just like, yo, do this.
the people that know the program just
Yeah.
like take this base and just like shine it up.
Like, please make this
Give
dope.
them a
like,
raw product and let them.
And then like, and I still pay people. Like I literally came to you with the idea. I gave you the photo, the font and everything, and I'll still pay you for it. You know what I mean?
I mean, like,
because you made it nice.
you made it nice, and like, I mean, you want the same, like you. I mean, I believe in karma.
Yeah.
As funny as it is, it's like I want to. I just try to be a positive type of person, even though a lot of people think I'm miserable. It's just like I ain't. It's just like I just have a way of doing things. I'm always in my head thinking about things, dude. It's like I feel like that constantly in my head. It's just like I always have something that I'm thinking about trying to like make better, whether it's this podcast, whether it's like different clothes to think about for threads, or like just things like that. Because like, I mean, like I said, we're like-minded people. We've
had conversations about stuff like
always, and that's why I feel that it's you're a good person to have on here, and it's like there's just so much potential now, especially with like the age of social media and everything. You could build anything off of Instagram and anything online, and it's wild. So I also wanted to ask you, like, so what's up with Trending Styles? Like, how did this come how did this come about?
Trending Styles, man. Like I said, like earlier,
Trending Styles is it's a barbershop down in Southside,
a unisex salon. So we do women's hair, men's hair. We got 4 barbers, three barbers, and 2 hairstylists, for women and men. But that started out. So like my cousin, he had the clothing store when we were younger.
Yeah.
Did some time, did 17 years. Came back 3 years ago, and but when he was gone. Before, he had the clothing shop, but he also worked at Cool Cuts, which was next door.
Oh yeah,
and he was like the initial investor in Cool Cuts. Like he owns that property.
Oh yeah,
yeah. So he owns the building.
That's dope.
And then like somebody else managed it, but he had that building and the other building.
Yeah.
So and they were like right next to each other. He had the barbershop and he had the clothing store. So got arrested, went to jail for a stint. Came back for like a year, worked in the barbershop again, and then went back for like the rest of the time. And then when he got out, it was just a natural thing. Like that's what I've been doing.
Yeah, I didn't know he used to cut hair
in jail and shit. So like he was like, I'm getting out, but he's like, I don't want to cut the hair no more. I just want to run the shop.
Yeah.
I've been cutting hair for 17 years in jail. I was cutting hair before that. Like I'm done doing that shit.
Yeah.
So like his wife worked as well for like a salon the whole time he was in jail. So she caught the bug from meeting him and shit.
Yeah.
And she quit her job. They opened up Trending Styles. We redid everything, you know what I mean? Got a good location, that was everything, scouting locations, doing all that. And now it's here, man. We've been open for a year and like 4 months, 5 months.
That's dope.
First year was great, man. Like the barbershops are like the type of thing where like if you get a good location, you literally start making money day one.
Yeah, you just start making money because like, especially if it's a good vibe. It's just like you go in there, people just go in there even if they can get their haircut.
Yeah, like just to vibe out. Like we do DJs in there every first Saturday.
Yeah.
Giveaways and shit like that. So like,
yeah, you always got. I saw last time he came in, he said we're giving away TV down there, like cell phones. Like
we do like guerrilla marketing. Like it's really like
that's dope, bro. I mean, involve the community. Gives people a reason to like go in there even if they're not getting a haircut, not just treat it as like a place to go once every 2 weeks to get a haircut.
Right. Yeah, I mean people are in there. We have people that come in every day.
Yeah,
just come in and chill for like a little bit and dip. But it's cool, man. It's a good vibe. Like, everybody at my job at Apple, like, they're starting to go down there. I've been telling them about it for a year.
Yeah.
But they're like, oh yeah, let me stop down. We'll stop down and be like, yo, I got the best haircut I ever had in my life, yo. Like I'll be down there all the time.
Yeah, for sure.
I've been telling you for a year, bro. You've been looking stupid as fuck with your stupid ass haircut for a year.
Yeah, we're always sending people down there when they come to the shop.
Yeah, and that's all love, man. Like, I'm very proud of as black men in America, is owning something is important. You know what I mean? And, black and brown people, we got to own more. You know what I mean? We got to own more in places where there's not black and brown people all the time.
Yeah.
So, like, to do that where we're doing it and to be successful in doing
successful
it and
business.
not having no bullshit run through there like the first year, like everything's been cool.
Yeah.
And you know, our landlord's happy, like everybody's cool, like everybody's always
Building a
paid
name
up,
for
like,
yourself.
building a
People
name
are
and-
having a strong customer base coming back.
Oh, it's important. Like, you know, like every black business don't got to be in the neighborhood. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? So like, you know, that's kind of what people do. Like, yeah, like, you know, I'll get a barbershop, but I'll put it, you know, they're from the Hill District, so they'll put it in the Hill District.
Yeah.
Because that's where their clientele is. Like, our clientele drives from where they are to come to us.
Yeah,
You know
and
what
I mean, it's
And
just
that's
like,
important.
I mean, it's obviously a better environment
Yeah.
than like you said, being in a
Yeah.
neighborhood and
Yeah,
everything.
yeah.
Plus, you got other benefits from being down there too. You got foot traffic, things like that.
Oh, yeah. It's like easy. Most of our customers are white, which
Yeah.
is like crazy. And all 3 barbers are white. We have 1 black barber.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, so like, you know, it's like it's different. Like people, you know, because I'm me, you know, they'll be like, oh, it's like a barbershop. Like, and I rap, they think it's like the movie The Barbershop. You know what I mean? Like, but it's like, yo, you go down, and I'm like, yeah, we play music, we chill, we have fun, but it's like
it's just
you
a
know,
good environment,
yeah, like,
welcoming
yeah,
environment.
like, y'all cut white hair? I'm like, yeah, bro. Like, all of our barbers are white except for one. I'm like,
That's dope though. So I mean, it's dope that you're involved with like all this different shit. It's just
Yeah.
like, I mean, you got to be nowadays. I feel it's just like,
yeah, I mean, I think that's you know the way to make money and for us, like
Yeah.
our age of people, You know what I
especially
mean?
in like your profession. I mean, like everything is like, I mean, it's all about who you know. It's like building connections with people,
Yeah.
building like your pool of people that you know, and it's just like,
Yeah.
you got to do it the right way though, and you can't let
yeah.
the negativity in
Yeah,
there.
and you got to take risk, man. Like, you know,
Fortunate enough for both of us. I mean,
yeah.
I know what I want. And
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
I know the people that I mean, I feel that I am a good read of people.
Yeah.
Like my parents raised me up right to be able to distinguish like who is
Yeah.
a good person and who is a bad person.
Yeah.
And it's fortunate enough for
Yeah.
us that we
Yeah.
are able to do that.
Yeah. It's energy, man.
Yeah,
Like,
it's
you
all,
attract
that's,
good
that's
energy.
literally what it
Yeah.
is. It's like I feel like I could read someone in the first couple seconds of meeting them. It's like you could get a good vibe from
Yeah.
them, you can get a bad vibe, and it's like
Like, I know, like, when I'm at shows and shit, if my energy's off, like, it just, I don't get the same reaction.
yeah,
Like, my energy's good, I could fuck up on stage and it's fine.
yeah,
You know what I mean? Because the energy was right.
yeah. I mean,
Like, not even like being hype. It's just like,
Pe-
as long as I'm exuding good energy.
yeah. I mean, people ain't even a big deal. Like
Yeah.
if you got a vibe about you and you got a good stage presence,
I
like,
forget my words sometimes. I'll even be honest with you. Like, Spills always be like, bro, you know your words? I'm like,
yeah, that's
Yeah, we'll
crazy.
figure it
Like how
out.
many tracks you got? How do you remember all the words? Like
I don't.
I don't get it. How
It's like in the moment, like, it's a moment thing. Like, if I'm thinking, I fuck up.
yeah.
But if my
You
my
just let
energy's
it
right,
flow.
I'm crazy.
It's wild
up
to
there.
think about like all these artists who've been out for years, like Jay-Z, like all
Yeah.
these people that just have hundreds of tracks
Yeah.
and like hundreds of like fire ass tracks that
Yeah.
like how do you remember all the lyrics? I've listened to Ready to Die front to back like
Yeah.
1,000 times
know
in
what
my
I-
life. I still don't know the lyrics.
You know what I love about Pittsburgh? It's no one's first stop on tour.
Yeah.
It's normally like they're like towards the end of their tour,
Yeah.
and so we get the good parts
Yeah, they get in
of
the
tour.
groove.
I hate when it's the last show because artists are tired, but
Yeah.
like when it's like the third of the way in,
Yeah.
like they're in their groove, they know exactly what they want to do.
That's a
Their
good way
set
to
is
look
right,
at
their
it.
lighting's right.
I never thought about that.
Yeah, so like
Work out all the bugs.
yeah, people were like, "Oh, concerts in Pittsburgh are like titty." I'm like, bro, we got the best part of that shit.
Yeah, like
you
whenever
know?
we do get some shows, it's
Yeah.
like people are like they're on point whenever they come.
Because like everything takes time. Like the first, like, because I've been around like Mac when he's like preparing for tours. Like you don't have that much time.
Yeah.
Like, you know, because there's not the budget is like, yeah, we're going on tour in 2 months. We're going to promote the tour, but we're only going to start practicing for tour like a week before you leave. So like when you're actually on tour, those first like 4 shows.
Yeah, it's
are
I'm
like,
sure it's a
it's
I'm
a
sure
learning
it's a
curve.
mess.
Yeah, yeah.
It's just like you're trying to
And
figure
it's not
out.
necessarily his performance. It's more so the dude that's doing your sound.
Yeah, like you
Is
got to
he
figure
right?
out like what
Is
things.
the lighting dude like hitting every
I
cue?
bet.
Like,
Like,
you know what I mean?
It all goes behind that. That's why
Yeah.
like I mean you think of people like brush people over. Like that's why like it's nuts because like the smaller guy like obviously like I'm not talking to anyone crazy famous or anything like that, but it's just like all these like people that are not heard of, like that are still under the radar. You like some of these, like the other dudes that I've interviewed. It's just like such a process. Like they're going through such a process, and it's even more difficult than like your favorite artists that have the money to be able to just say like this is it. So like it's respectable that like whenever people have a mixtape, when people have a project, like they work their hardest and pour like everything that they have into them at that time period into that project. And that's why like I love working at Threads, because like it's like we support that. And like fortunate enough for us is like the whole city, like I mean, is showing love back to us. It's like we got big name people that come through, and they I mean, they don't have to.
Like Montana 300 was there doing an interview.
Like, Montana 300 came, did an interview. Post Malone shopped in there. Like Hardo shows so much love to Threads, and it's just like
major.
It's just it's like inspiring to see that. And it's, I mean, I feel so lucky to be a part of it. Like your soon-to-be wife. She's part of the team as well, and like just trying to like grow that shit out.
I knew it was a good place for her too. You know what I mean?
And dude, honestly, it all comes down to Fuad. Like that dude is probably someone that like me and him butt heads probably more than a lot of people, just because I'm stubborn and he's stubborn. But like honestly, dude, I don't know what I would do without him, because like he gives me so much like knowledge, not even just about like clothing and like the store and everything like that, but just like the way that he thinks about things definitely like conditions me to do the same, because my whole mindset is that like I have like word vomit. It's just like he asks me a question and I immediately just blare some shit out. Whenever you talk to him, he listens and he processes, and he might not answer for a couple seconds, but like whenever he does say some shit, he's dropping knowledge on you.
Right.
And it's just like and he's also like someone that listens to your opinion. So like it's a good team we have down there. And it's just like people definitely need to come down and check it out. Threads on Carson.
Fire.
It's just like we got a good little block down there. Got Trend and Styles down there. Got Threads. Got everything else.
There's gonna be like more shit moving to the block too. Like Ethics coming down there.
What was it? Ethica. Or Ethic. Yeah. They got the Decade spot.
Yeah, it'll be down there. March, something like that.
Yeah, that's dope. Anthony's Locker just went down
Anthony's
there.
Locker. Carmi's is down there, Soul Food spot.
Yeah, dude, I just seen that was about to open up.
Fire food, bro.
It's open now?
I think it opens this month, February, or in February, I think.
You ate the food?
I've had it when like at the original spot.
Yeah, where was that at?
The Hill District or something like that.
Yeah,
somewhere by the city.
Yeah, it's always that's another good part about working down there. It's like you get to try all this different food, because like you eat the same shit over and over. So if there's a new spot opening up, you're like, damn. Like,
because I used to eat hooks like faithfully. I'm eating healthier now, but I used to eat hooks faithfully. That's like in my spot. So, you know, I would never try other shit, because I'd be like, yo, I got a default. Like, if I'm hungry, I'm just gonna go to Hooks. Like, you know,
that's what I'm like with Carson Street Deli. It's right next door. Gotta grab a sandwich real quick. But I mean, like, so what do you got planned for next? Like, what do you got coming up?
There's more music. I was about to quit rap like last month, but because it's lame to me. Like, rappers are lame to me. Like, trying to get on is lame to me. Because like people are doing too much, like to try to get on. You know what I mean?
I could feel that.
I was just like, so like now my mindset is like, I'm not trying to get on no more. I'm just gonna do me.
When you want to create, you're gonna create.
I want to create. I'm gonna put it out. It's gonna be fucking good.
Yeah.
And that's what it is. You know what I mean? Like if someone wants to fuck with me, they're gonna fuck with me. I know enough industry people, managers, you know, artists now, that if you want to pump it or post it, it's gonna get more love. So if I do that one thing, if I have my moment of genius and I do something again, like I've had moments of genius throughout my career.
Yeah.
Where like I knew that song was genius. It was like one of my genius moments.
Yeah.
So I was like, yeah, this one's gonna do this and this one's gonna do this. The other songs are fire, but like
you knew which ones were gonna be like
when I do it, I'm like, yo, that's it, you know. So like when I have my next genius moment, you know, it might be the one.
Yeah.
But and I think that because I know so many people now that are in the industry.
Yeah.
That it's like I've had genius moments in the past. If they were there, I would have been on. But now it's like they're waiting for my next genius moment.
You got to be the right place, right time.
Yeah, I'm not gonna force it. It's just gonna come, and then I make enough music. I'm consistent with it enough that like once I get on, it's just over.
Yeah, once you get on and people like catch on to it, it's like you got a whole library of shit of just like dope tracks.
Yeah,
that's
so
definitely
it's gonna be fire. It's gonna be fire. I'm definitely gonna be working on new shit. I just started making beats, bro. Like
that's what I was gonna ask you about. Like, where
I'm like low key. I just did it the other day, bro.
Yeah, just started.
Yeah, I mean, like at my job, it's like a part of my job now, like at Apple, to like teach music classes and shit like that.
Oh, is it?
So like I started learning GarageBand, you know, as far as like sequencing beats and
how long
like
you been at Apple now?
3.5 years.
You love it?
I love that shit, yo.
Yeah.
Yeah. I couldn't like working a job.
Yeah.
Like that's the only job I could probably do. Because it's like I get like my job now, like my newest position there, like I teach people. I do the creative stuff. So like I teach people, you know, how to use their products, but I also get to play with music all day.
So you started fucking around with some beats?
Started fucking around with the beats, like just getting nice. Like for the past like 4 months, I've had this new position. So I just been getting nice with like the keyboards and like shit.
Learning the actual tools.
Yeah, learning the tools. And then now I was like, the other day I was like, let me just try to put together a full beat.
Yeah.
Bro, I did it. I was like, yo, this shit's actually fire.
Yeah.
I was like, I would spit over the shit. And then that was like 2 days ago.
What'd you do with that beat? Is anyone working on it yet?
Yeah, my boy Chemical.
Okay.
Yeah, I put it on my IG story. He was like, yo, send this to me. So I sent it to him and shit. And he was like, how much you want for it? I'm like, nah, man, you good. Like,
he's a rapper?
Yeah.
Where's he from?
He's from here.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. He moved to Florida, but he be back and forth.
I don't know if I heard of him or not.
He's on joints with Fran.
Oh, okay.
So if you look at like some of their videos,
yeah,
like,
I probably listened to it. I probably heard him on there, just don't even know the name of it.
Yeah, I forget what the name of the one song is, but if you look at the Come Up Boys page, he's on there, Chemical. But he got that, and I'm like, I like heard it, and I was like, I don't know if it'll sound right on it, but then I listened back to it, I was like, yo, he's gonna sound crazy on this shit.
Yeah.
And then, but the past day or two, I've been making like I got like 3 beats that I made.
That's
so
dope.
like now I caught a bug for it. It was like it almost felt like the first time I heard myself rap.
Yeah.
Or like, you know, I put together a song, I
Just
played it
feels
back,
right.
I was like, oh shit, like damn, I'm a rapper. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like the other day, I'm like,
I mean, you can only get better.
Yeah, and I put it out, and I was like, people were like, yo, that's fire. I was like, damn, I'm a producer.
Yeah, that's
You know
dope.
what I mean?
Especially
like,
now, like you got, so you got all your own equipment and shit like that.
I just use it at work, bro. Like I get time throughout my day to like practice, and I can't sell any of that stuff because it's like during my shift or whatever.
Yeah.
But like I can give that shit away. You know what I mean? So like,
yeah, for sure.
Right now I'm just getting
especially
like,
it's just practice for you.
Yeah. So I'm just like getting nice.
Get better at it.
Yeah, I'm just getting nice with it, and I like got programs on my phone and my computer and shit. So, you know, I just been working on the past couple of days where I can't stop doing it. It's all I think about now.
Yeah.
Just producing, and then I'm just gonna start spitting over them. So I think my next project it would be self-produced.
That's gonna be dope.
Yeah.
Yeah, the
So,
whole
like
thing
an
from
EP,
the ground
just
up.
like 4 or 5 songs, but yeah,
That's still that, like, to be able to put out something that you manifested and created yourself.
like from beginning to end.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna record myself.
That's dope.
So,
and
like,
especially like if you have an idea of a track, like you can make a beat that you you could format a beat to how
like,
you want it to be.
Yeah, I was talking to my girl last night. I was like, yo, like as I'm making it, like I get my vibe, and I'm like, I got a hook, so now I can add the melody to it because I already have the hook. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I was like, you know, it's just understanding, because I've understood music from a space already of like the stems and like how to make songs dope, and like let's drop the drums here and let's do this. You know, like I've always been like that since my first project.
Yeah.
So like
now you're actually building
now
from
I'm doing it. Yeah.
You're doing the foundation now, so
and
you know,
and
create it how you want.
I have like a network of people like for that beat. I was like, yo, I'm gonna send it to one of the producers that I always work with. You'll mix the shit for me.
Yeah.
Make the drums pop a certain way. So like, you know, he working on that now for me. You know what I mean? Like I got it. I'm just like, yo,
shine it up a little bit.
Same shit, bro. Like
That's
I'm gonna
all
do
it
this
is.
shit, bro. Sign this up for me. I'll give you like $10. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just like spend the 5 minutes.
Yeah, it probably takes five minutes for them to do that.
Yeah.
And it's just like it would take you an hour. You might not even know how the certain tools.
I'm like, I don't know how to do it. I don't have the plugins.
That's what I'm trying to do with this podcast. Like my boy Buzzy up at Epicast.
Yeah, shout out Epicast.
Yeah, dude. Like they so like 4 years ago I started doing a podcast with my other dude Dylan, and like it all just like fell apart just because like I'm going to school, he was going to school, and Buzzy was like we were the first podcast that he was working on, and it's like we were all in the dark with it, and now this fucking dude is just like killing it.
Yeah.
And he is just editing, like he's working with drinking partners, like different comedians, like bigger name people, and it's just like I would not be here right now if it wasn't for him. Just because I'm like you though, it's like whenever I learn, like I get obsessed with things, and it's just like editing these podcasts, whether it's just like I have to just like get deep down into it and make it how I want it now. And it's nice to be able to create my own shit. And it's like once you're
creators are the future, bro.
Yeah, it's like once you're self-sustaining, it's like the possibilities are endless. And that's why like I just needed my own outlet to be able to create things, but I needed to be able to do it my own way, and luckily I fucking talk like nobody, like I just talk to people.
You know, I don't believe in geniuses. I believe in genius moments.
Yeah.
And I think this was one of your genius moments.
Yeah, man, I'm excited about this.
Like when I saw everything, like the phone with the strawberry on it, the fuchsia background, like everything, I was like, yo, this is perfect. And I was like, the fuchsia background, because like there's like, you'll see, I don't know if you saw my IG post, but like it's the same color as like one of the IG backgrounds for like words. Yeah. So like, you know, it's like the white letters on like the fuchsia background. So like, even if someone's tagging it, like they should tag it under that. You know what I mean?
For sure.
But it's just like, you know, there's little things like that people do that don't notice that are like a part of the genius moment. Yeah. So like, everyone has these moments, bro.
I'm particular.
You just gotta like capture that shit.
Yeah, it's just I'm particular about it. I have I have like a base of like what I envision things, and I mean, along the way, I'm just trying to fine tune it. It's like, and I mean, like, I appreciate people coming on here. Like, I appreciate you coming on here. I'm fortunate enough that you have a great story. Like, you're a big part of the Pittsburgh hip hop scene.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And it's just like you've been in it for a minute.
Yeah.
It's like seeing
it's
some
crazy
shit,
when I think about it.
Know some people. Yeah. And for someone to be like, I've started 100 projects and let things go. Yeah. But for someone to consistently be into something for like damn near a decade. It's just like
2018.
It's like
my first show was 08.
That's just like that's passion. Yeah, and it's like you could recognize that, and it's like people that oozes out of people. Yeah, and I definitely see that with you.
Appreciate that.
For sure, and I appreciate you coming on here. Yeah, this is the segment I ask everyone. All right? Yeah. So this is called Desert Island Questions.
Oh yeah.
All right, you know what this is?
Yeah.
Okay, so
damn, I didn't think of nothing though. All right.
That's all right. That's good. There ain't no reason for that. So Desert Island Questions for everyone. Yeah. This is if you get lost or you get stranded on a desert island. I am being generous and giving people 3 choices of movies, books, and musical albums. So if you were able to choose 3 movies to have with you on a desert island to watch every day over and over.
Yeah. One of my favorite. Can it be like? So I'm gonna switch it up, right?
Bro, it could be
like
any
entire
movie you
series.
Want. Oh, that's fine.
Like a disc set, right?
Disc set.
Yeah, that's gonna be one of them.
That's fine.
It would have to be The Wire.
Oh yeah.
I need that. I would watch that consistently.
Okay.
Really like the first 3 seasons.
First 3 seasons?
Yeah, the other 2
How many seasons were there?
5, I think.
Yeah, 5.
Yeah. They got kind of different at the end, but I'd watch the first 3 seasons back to back all the time. A movie like a lot of people haven't seen, but it's definitely one of my favorite flicks is it's called Blue Hill Avenue. Okay. Which is like a dope. They're all like all my shit is like gangster flicks, black gangster flicks. Okay. But Blue Hill Avenue was dope.
Yeah, I never heard of that one.
Yeah, check
Who's
that
in
out.
It? Anyone big?
Nah. Well, the dude's big. He plays on like House of Pain right now. It's like a show on like ABC or some shit.
I don't know.
NBC.
Well, I don't know what that is.
He's like not a huge actor. Like that's probably like the biggest movie he was in.
Blue Hill Avenue, you said?
Blue Hill Avenue.
I'm gonna have to check it out.
And damn, the third one. It's gonna have to be a comedy. Probably like the shit that kills me every time is Step Brothers, yo. Yeah. Like that shit is so funny to me. Like Will Ferrell is like one of my favorite actors, comedic actors.
Dude, he is hilarious.
He's just so fucking funny to me.
That came out in like 2008, 2009, and I was at Slippery Rock going to school, and that whole year just reminds me of Step Brothers because like I remember we got that disc and we had that disc and we had the Dark Knight with the Joker. Was that the Dark Knight?
Dark Knight Rises?
Rises, with the Joker. And then we should just like loop that shit back and forth. It's like Step Brothers all day, all day, all day. Dark Knight all day. Yeah. We were serious mood, Dark Knight.
Yeah,
Comedy
and
Step Brothers.
If I had a alternate pick, it would be Wedding Crashers.
Oh, that is so fucking good.
Vince Vaughn is
That's probably one of my
he's funny
favorite.
as
That's in
fuck.
my top 10 for
Yeah,
sure. Wedding Crashers. This is that's a perfect movie.
Yeah, like,
I
there's
could watch it
nothing wrong
any
with that
day.
movie,
I could watch it any day of the week. Now, are you a reader?
I don't read that much.
Okay.
I'm more so like I listen to things on the internet.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, I mean, I usually ask people like 3 books that they would bring with them. So let's. Do you have any books that you would take with you?
As far as books go, nah, because I wouldn't want to read.
Yeah.
While I'm on a deserted island.
Yeah.
Like a desert island.
Okay, that's understandable.
If I could listen, like it's not like I listen to lectures and shit.
Yeah.
Like I'm like TED Talk dude. Like
yeah. We'll replace that then. Three cassette tapes with talks on it.
I would what's the dude's name? I forget his name, yo. He's like the dude that introduced LSD to the Beatles. This is like around that time where I was like doing shrooms and like dropping acid and like weird shit. But like dude changed my view of everything, of the way I think.
Oh yeah.
What the fuck is his name? I can't even think about it right now.
Sorry.
I'll get it to you though, because I want you to listen to it.
Okay.
And I'll find it and I'll get it to you. But my CD For My Culture, I have like snippets of things that he said on there.
Okay.
It kind of started shaping like the way I was like becoming an adult and like seeing the world and doing shit. But he's real wild and he's like on LSD and shit like all the time, and he just like talks and does like lectures at like schools and shit.
I'm Googling it right now. Hold on. What's the other one?
Like something that he's done.
No. I'm talking about your next choice.
My next choice would probably be I would just need like every TED Talk. So like I would need that YouTube channel, just like just being able to be played on there at all times. And then I would need something that would involve music. So it would probably just be like like Breakfast Club interviews.
Yeah, you told me you listen to a lot of interviews. Like
Yeah.
That's what I do too. It's like I find someone that I like, and I always listen to interviews and shit like that.
Yeah.
I feel like that's the best way. It's like that's where you learn the most. That's where like you learn the most about things. Let's see if this.
I think Jim Carrey's like playing him in a movie.
Yeah, I was just gonna say Jim Carrey's playing him. I know who he is just because Joe Rogan talks about him.
Yeah.
Hold on, I know his name as soon as I fucking.
As soon as I see it, yeah. I haven't listened to it in years.
Terrence McKenna.
That's it. He's a wild
Terrence
cat.
McKenna. Yeah, dude, did you ever listen to him on Rogan?
No.
Or you ever listen to Rogan talk about him?
No.
Dude, you should. It's fucking nuts. Terrence McKenna.
That dude's a genius, bro.
Yeah, he is super wild. Those are some people that like at first people were probably like he's on something crazy, but like
weird.
he's seriously like woke. Like that dude.
He's connected, bro.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. I agree with that.
Yeah.
So the last question is 3 musical albums you would bring. I know it's got to be hard for you.
Definitely Reasonable Doubt. I actually listen to Reasonable Doubt every day.
Okay.
Because I need to hear it.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was the first CD I ever fell in love with. Mm-hmm. So like I listen to that shit every day. Something about that shit is just crazy. It's a perfect album.
Yeah, everything about that.
Yeah. Well, let me say this. The first like 7 songs are flawless.
Yeah.
Then the other ones are just like Jay-Z did that for shit for his homies.
That's your shit though?
Yeah. That's my shit.
Okay. So that's one.
It would have to be and these are like timestamps in my life, but like 50 Cent, Get Rich or Die Trying.
Okay. Yeah.
Or what was his second album? The one with
not guilty.
I don't think it's the one that had like the one that was like, bitch, get in my car. I got no pickup lines. They stay on my grind. I told them hold on time, bitch, get in my car.
The Massacre.
Yeah, that's
the
my
Massacre.
Shit. Yo, like that was the time when my boy got a whip for the first time.
Yeah, that shit that like that's the
know,
stuff that you think about.
And we would play that, but he had like a minivan, like it was like his mom's old minivan.
Yeah.
But like the system in the minivan was like crazy.
Bro, I had a mean-ass system.
Yeah,
I had a mean-ass system.
We would throw the Massacre in, and we'd be in this gold minivan like, bitch, get in my car. Like,
Dude, those are
joint,
music back in the day is like the shit that you would bang in the car with your friends.
Yeah.
It's like that stuff is pivotal. Like that stuff is such a powerful thing.
That's major. And I think, bro, just because of like how perfect the album was.
Yeah.
Good Kid, Mad City.
Okay.
Yeah. And I don't love Kendrick.
Okay.
But that album
Yeah.
is flawless.
Yeah.
Like it's something that I would, regardless if I like every track on there,
It's just
it's
something
perfect. So like if I had to if I was deserted on an island forever,
Yeah.
and I had to like listen to music, I would need it to be as perfect as that.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
understandable.
Yeah. So
For
like
sure.
Reasonable Doubt because it's perfect to me for its reasons.
Yeah.
The Massacre because it has like this
That
like
nostalgic
significant
feel.
like nostalgic feel, and then Good Kid, Mad City because it's literally perfect.
Yeah. Technically, it's just
Yeah.
like that's a perfect thing for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's dope.
Yeah.
So this is my favorite question to ask everyone.
Mm-hmm.
If you could have a conversation, sit
Yeah.
down and have a conversation
Yeah.
with one person, alive or dead.
Yeah.
This is where you get some interesting answers. Like I always get the last dude that I interviewed.
Yeah.
Kama talked about. He was like, could it be fictional? I was like,
Yeah.
sure, why not?
Yeah.
He was like, bro, I'd ask Scar why he fucking killed Mufasa.
Oh shit.
I was like,
And that's real shit though. He was petty.
I thought
for
it
that.
was so funny.
Scar was petty for that shit, yo.
You got it in the end, though.
Yeah. Simba came through, man. The who would I sit down with? I want to say Terrence McKenna because we were just talking about him, but I don't know if I listened to him enough already.
Yeah.
Someone that I want to know more about would probably be. It would have to just be someone like cultural, but like Martin Luther King, like someone that like about, but like you don't really.
You want to hear more.
I want to understand more about like what drove him to become, like what moment in time drove him to become like to give up his whole life for other people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because like in my life, like he was the switch in like the civil rights movement. So like, I was obviously not born yet, but like, without him,
Yeah, I mean things would definitely
be different still.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
for sure.
So like he's probably someone I would talk to, just to like pick his brain, like because he gave up his whole life for other people without knowing if it would work or not.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
it has to be the craziest.
The craziest decision you can ever make in your life.
Yeah, for sure.
But you have to be you have to believe in that shit. There has to be some type of higher power, higher calling for that. You know?
Yeah.
What I mean? So
Yeah, that's dope. That's a good answer.
yeah.
Could respect that for sure. Well, man, I mean, like, we did some work here, and
Yeah.
I think it went so well. I
Yeah.
appreciate you for coming on here
Absolutely.
and taking the time out to talk to me. I know you're a busy man. Now, you could plug anything you like.
Yeah, man, just check out Henny Hardaway, my most recent project, rarenation.com, RARE nation.com. All my shit's on there. All the artists are on there.
Yeah.
It's more than just me. It's a whole army of people. So
Yeah, and I'm going to put links in the description below of all this shit
Yeah.
so you can just click on it and it'll take you right there.
yeah, so check out everything. Check out all my people, and yeah, it's all love.
All right. I appreciate it. And it was great talking to you. I mean, like, I'm pumped to see where everything goes for for all the projects, for
Yeah.
everyone involved with your with your group.
Yeah, I'm excited too.
Pumped to talk to all them on here. I'm sure there are going to be some future guests.
Yeah.
Again, thanks everyone for listening. Please subscribe, rate, and leave me some feedback. It's just going to help me make this better for you and make it sound better. And you can follow me social media, Facebook, I'll Call You Right Back Podcast, Instagram at I'll Call You Right Back, Twitter at ICYRB Podcast, or you can shoot me an email. Again, let me know what I could do better, and I appreciate it. Thanks for everyone listening, and I'll call you right back.